Welcome to another episode of TED Culture. I got a little different setup. I'm moving things around in the room because it's the new year. New year, new me, new room, new mindset, new everything. I mean, if you think about it, 2021 is going to be such a different year. It's going to be different than any other years combined. All the other years combined. It's going to be so, because we've never seen something like this in such a long time, or any time. Like, okay, there have been pandemics in the past, obviously, right? We wouldn't even have the word pandemic if there wasn't a pandemic before. So we have this pandemic, but with our level of technology and this specific political situation, just the climate, they call it. In this climate, we've never had it. And so, this is brand new stuff to us. 2021, brand new stuff. I mean, going into, this is the first time we've started a year with COVID, you know? Quarantine was so long that you wouldn't have even thought that it was, just 9 months, 9 months now? Something like that, I don't know. But you wouldn't have thought. You'd be like, oh, I was actually stuck in COVID, quarantine for an eternity. It was like come out of Circe's playground. What was it? What'd she have in the Odyssey? Circe's island. Coming back from before. This is it. We're having the hero's journey. Currently, right now. We have, in the beginning, we were at war, D. Trump pulling the troops out of Afghanistan, about time, Um, at war with oil, we come back, we just get attacked. We just get attacked by this stupid, plague, this stupid pandemic, this disease. It's this virus. It's so stupid. You only show common cold symptoms, and then people out here dying. People out here can't even breathe, can't even smell afterwards. Getting a ED from stupid COVID. But yeah, I mean, it is another step in that. Now we're at Circe. Or what's her name? Not Circe. Circe was the pig, right? Something like that. Calypso. Calypso's island. Now we're here and we're stuck, and it feels like an eternity. And it'll probably go on for a good chunk of at least half. I'd say at least half. COVID's gonna stick around for the better part of this year. For sure. Even though the vaccine's coming out, it already came out, and now it's going to be public sometime probably late spring and summer, early summer. So that it's like early summer. When's August? August is the 8th. When's July? 7th, and June is the 6th. That's 6 months until we actually get the vaccine to the public, and then it's still going to be lingering. There's always going to be lingerers, people who are skeptics of the vaccine will probably take it a little bit later. And, we're all skeptics. So, I mean, 2021 is probably going to be another throwaway year. 2021 definitely going to be another throwaway year. And it's sad, but I mean, what can you do? What can you do? when we're in these troubling times, you got to persevere, um, because the worst is yet to come, as foretold in the hero's journey. So each of you out there, be your own hero. Be your Odysseus. You know, we are gonna have these tough times. Right now we're stuck in a real pickle, and it's not great. That's for sure. It is not the best thing. I'll say that. And you know, so what if we're on this? This the little hiccup in our lives. We'll say, some bad things happen, some good things happen. Mostly bad, mostly good. Sometimes mostly bad, I would say. But I'm looking forward to breathe. Going outside to breathe. I'm looking forward to seeing my grandparents. I'm looking forward to having things open up again. It's all these things I'm looking forward to, and it's gonna happen in 2021, maybe 2022. But we're just getting there. We're getting closer day by day. Day by day. Yeah, this year is a. I'll talk a little bit more about my resolutions in the future, but man, oh man, this year is gonna be something else. I'm telling you, you're gonna be seeing changes. You're gonna be seeing changes on this podcast, for this podcast. Some changes. Maybe in style, maybe in a haircut. Maybe I'll go with it. Maybe I'll go with a different haircut this year. Who knows? Who knows? If I'm feeling it. I mean, for the better part of the year, again, it'll be the same old, same old. So now's the time to change up some stuff, try out new things. Perfect time for that. While you're independent, see, I like this. Oh, I prefer this. Prefer this style of haircut. If I go like, I don't know. My hair's, it's tough because, if it's not well maintained as it is kind of now, you get that bushiness. You get that floof, and it's not that you can't really pull off a lot of styles with that, unfortunately. But, I use product, I use special, not special shampoo, but just, moisturizing shampoo, all natural, of course. I care about the earth, and I care about my hair health. So I'm trying to use better products. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to 2021. However, dangerous. We're gonna get into Charybdis. We're gonna get into Scylla, and we're gonna have to choose between one of the two, and it's gonna be a tough choice. But ultimately we will get the babe in the end. So that is, that's all that matters. 2020 is behind us. Um, we're on the edge of escaping Calypso's island, and we have big plans up ahead. Big plans. Yeah, but meanwhile, to get you started on this journey, this hero's journey, while you're stuck on the island, I got a little something special for you today. I have two very special guests. You are going to absolutely adore them, and our conversations are so good. So you will just enjoy every ounce of our words. It's truly like you'll hear our words, and you will taste something delicious. We got a tasty podcast coming up ahead. We have Blas, Cerda, and Aidan Freeze. And these guys are great. Blas is he's a synesthetic. He has synesthesia, which is the crossing of two senses. I won't spoil anything, but you guys will love that discussion. Stay till the end and you will get to hear it. And we have Aidan Freeze. He goes by Freeze on SoundCloud. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's a genius. You guys are going to love this. Truly. And he might give you a little treat at the end of the podcast as well. So tune in. Stay with us. And I'm sure you will enjoy every second of the conversation that we have, every ounce. And so I will leave you with that. Peace. Welcome to another episode of TED Culture.
What's going on?
Yes, yeah. Here with me, I have two very special guests, very amazing guests. I'm really excited to have these guys on. They're my good buddies. You know, what else? Introduce yourselves.
Yo, what up? I'm Aidan, or I guess Freeze.
Yeah, we mentioned you on
I guess
Cedric's
Freeze.
episode.
Shout out Cedric.
Cedric's episode is like actually insane.
Cedric.
It has like 130 views or something. I was
wow.
this is
Cedric,
crazy.
if you're watching this, get into podcasting.
Yeah,
Drop
get
the
into
music
it.
thing. Go
Dude,
into podcasting.
That's like 4 times my numbers, which is great. Yeah, I thank him every day for that.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
not much else to say.
I'm Blas. That's about it.
Yes, yeah. You got nothing? Great dude, great hair. If you're an audio
thank
listener,
you, yeah.
you're really
Curly
missing
hair.
out. Great hair. Did you put something in it?
No, it's all natural.
Oh,
Well,
You're
I do.
joking.
I use something in the winter because it gets really like frizzy and dry.
Yeah.
But you know, like on a good
Tis
hair
the
day,
season.
yeah.
What did you put in it?
Some kind of like coconut like curl kind of thing. I don't know. It's like a tiny bit in my hair after I shower.
What about the shampoo you use? Shampoo or conditioner?
Actually,
Do you condition?
yeah, I condition. So
Nice.
because I have curly hair dries out faster than straight hair. I only shampoo like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And I can I still shower and rinse my hair and everything,
Yeah.
but I use conditioner every day, and that
That's exactly what I do.
that keeps the curls healthier, curlier, shinier, all that.
Preach.
I just wear hats all the time.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's great. I want to start this. This episode is dedicated to the great MF Doom.
Rest in peace,
Rest
MF
in
Doom,
peace.
bro.
Bro, we lost him at the worst time. He was gonna get to the end of the year, and
He was
he
almost
couldn't.
there.
Almost there. That's too bad. Man,
I'm
that
glad they
really
waited to
bums me
tell us, though. Honestly,
out. Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
that was a good decision.
yeah. End the year with a bang. It's really something.
Yeah, right. It really snuck its way in there, bro.
Dang.
The
Well,
last
it's
day.
better. It's better to end the year bad than start the year bad.
Yeah.
So, put it in 2020 because I just want to forget about that entire year.
Get it out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Pretty bad year.
It's been rough.
Alright, I'm not gonna lie though, overall the year has been shit, but I feel like personally it's been
Made the most of it.
I
it's been
think
one of my
most of it.
better
Mm.
years.
that's what you can do. It's a time where you can think more about yourself
That's what I'm
and
saying.
be more
exactly.
independent and self-focused, self-driven. And I think that's what's great.
I mean,
about it.
Yeah.
right after quarantine, that's when me and my buddy Logan, Logan,
Yeah.
came out with bars, bro. We were
Yeah.
locked up for a couple months, and we were like, we're gonna make so much music,
Yeah.
and we came out with a 9-song mixtape.
Right. Yeah, that was fire.
I mean, it did really well out the gate. I mean, obviously, it's not
That's
anything
great.
like crazy, but I mean,
For like a first album or no second album.
for like
Yeah.
first like better produced project, I would say.
More
Yeah.
focused on it.
Because the first one I had, Bonfire, I recorded all on the Apple headphone, and then that one, it's
that's
such a
that's
big,
actually Ced's
Hey, shout out Cedric again, bro.
CD classic. We talked
Cedric-
about it on his.
Cedric, if you
podcast.
ever need a mic, bro, hit me up. I got a Blue Yeti.
Yeah, I mean Cedric, these are pretty good.
On Amazon,
You can
bro.
use them. Amazon, $36. Not bad. Brazia is what they're called.
But yeah, bars was when me and Logan were really like, man, we have a lot of time to think, and we're not trying to do nothing with it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I recorded that first one, Bonfire, with the Apple mic, and then I was like, I didn't make any music for a whole year. And then quarantine happened, and I was like, all right, yeah, now's the time.
Yeah.
But I
That's-
mean, Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think after having that much time to reflect on myself and what I'm trying to say, to tie it all back into quarantine and 2020 and shit, is, I don't know, it just being in my head for so long inspired me to make more music, and it's continuing to inspire me to make more music, so that's the plan.
Yeah. No, that's good too. Especially, in 2020, I think it inspired a bunch of artists.
Oh yeah,
with music.
oh yeah. I feel like the musical presence, I told this to you, like, what, 2 weeks ago, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
The musical presence in Milford is really, really skyrocketed from what it was when Cedric first kind of popped
Who was it? It
up.
was King Paunch.
King Paunch,
King
bro.
Paunch.
Cedric.
Shout out King Paunch.
Shout out King Paunch. I think he follows, so that's good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, King Paunch. Who else was out? I think that was pretty much it. Just
Michael Alberta.
Yeah,
Michael Alberta was
Lil Wave.
Little
Lil
Wave.
Wave.
Shrimpy.
He was
Yeah.
out there.
Oh, Little Shrimpy.
Yeah,
Little
shout out
Shrimpy. Okay,
Lil,
Little
bro.
Shrimpy was the OG.
Let's go.
He was the OG.
I remember that, bro.
I'll
my
link him.
God.
I'll link him in the description.
Check him out.
Check him out. You have to.
Hit me for
Little
a collab
Shrimpy.
if you're watching. Hit me for a collab.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Me, you, and Ted can get on a song.
Yeah. Oh my god. I wish you were in for that one song.
I wish, bro. I heard
Yeah.
about it too late. I was like, oh.
I should have. Because we were just like, oh, who's the go? So I was running for president, and I thought it was re-election, junior to senior year.
Came out swinging, bro.
Yeah, I came out full on. I was like, I gotta get it back, and so I thought, what inspires the people, and rap music is a big influence on a lot of people's lives. So I thought, if this is gonna hit them the hardest, I gotta do it. Mm-hmm. And so I made a rap song produced by Lil Shrimpy, featuring Lil Shrimpy, Lil Loosh, which is me, and Said, which is now CD Classic. So I had some of the greats, some of the OGs.
It's a fire lineup,
yeah,
bro.
talk
It's
about
a fire
FF2
lineup.
being one of the OGs. We got Lil Shrimpy and CD Classic. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Lil Said, we used to call him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. No, it does make you think. Being in quarantine makes you think. It's like I want to start, putting a bar out again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I've.
Said he might. The song coming up. You just had a song.
I just had a song with
not too long
Cedric.
ago.
Yeah.
That's great.
Menace. Check that out, too.
Yeah, check it. It's fire.
What did you think
It's
of it?
fire. I thought it was great. I think
I think it was
I
a good collab of the styles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like a showcase of each.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the tastes. So I thought that was great. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot other people noticed as soon as Said started, back in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I think when Said first started, it's just people started realizing that I can, anyone can make music.
Oh yeah.
You started hearing all these great rappers were using the free audio software and
Mm-hmm.
just their microphone, their Apple earbuds.
That's how you start, bro.
Yeah.
And then and so they were like, oh, I can do this too. And I think it inspires people. And with this podcast, I took it from someone who all he did was use his Apple mic. I think he upgraded now, which is great. I think he started going on YouTube. Ed Smith, shout out.
Let's go.
Yeah. He's got a great podcast. And so I kind of I was inspired to do one too. And that was the thing. So it was just I could do this.
I mean, a big part of the reason that I started making music was Cedric. Whichever way you put it. I mean, I'd always been pretty interested in English and shit like that. I used to write top of the class poems, not to brag or anything.
Oh my gosh.
I used to write top of the class poems back in elementary school, and all my teachers would be like, yo, to my mom, this kid's insanely good at English, and I was like, all right, word. And then Cedric, when I heard Cedric's first song, forget what the name of it was. Do you remember the name of it?
Oh my god, was it the King Punch disc?
It was the King Punch disc, but I don't remember.
I forgot the name.
Oh.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it.
Oh,
but
check
then-
it out. Just keep. I don't know if it's out. I don't know if it's
out
still
anymore.
If it's still out, go to the earliest song you can find.
We don't like to talk about anything that came out within the first couple months, but
Yeah.
that's besides the
But
point.
that was fire, dude. That especially inspired everyone because that got around the whole school.
That caused a lot of debate, bro.
That did.
It did.
Influential.
Yeah, it was great. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a great time.
That was a great song. His first couple songs, like, I keep bringing it up, but Pop Rocks is
I like Pop Rocks. I like
one
Pop
of my
Rocks.
favorite songs by
Pop
CD
Rocks
Classic.
Because
yeah.
I've told Cedric my critiques with his music before, but it's not like bad critiques or anything like that. Right. It's just like, I know what Cedric can do. You know what I mean? Right. I've listened to a lot of shit that he hasn't put out. Because like we used to work together a lot, and I'm like, you know, I know what you can do, and I'm glad that you're finding a style. But I mean, don't be afraid to be experimental.
Right.
Feel me?
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have to stick to one taste. There's like barely any artists out there that stick with one. You know, Taylor Swift, for example. You know, country. You know, pop, and now she's like more like folk or something.
Yeah, didn't she like just put something out?
Yeah. I said, I shouted her out on that, obviously. But she put out a new album, and it's more back to her roots, you know, that kind of acoustic
circle
vibe. Yeah, full circle. It's great.
Even me and Blas have talked about, like, I'm not just trying to rap. I'd be down to do. I mean, I do trap. I do boom bap. I do everything in between. You know what I mean? And
you know, like, don't limit yourself to one genre, right?
Exactly.
I listen to a bunch of music, but I'd be down to do like indie, alt, some rock.
Right, and especially after Doom unfortunately passed, it got me going back to his music because you know that's with every artist that dies. You have to, bro. Yeah. And so I went back to that, and I was like, this is good stuff. This is when people had like insane bars, you know, everything was just crazy.
You ever seen those YouTube videos where it's like the rhymes highlighted, and it does like the entire rhyme scheme of the verse going through? Figaro by MF Doom.
Yeah.
If you go into that song and watch the rhymes highlighted thing, it's like every word is highlighted, and the scheme is like all throughout the entire song.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was legit. It was an actual masterpiece.
It literally was. It was knowledge on paper, bro.
Yeah. But that's like back to writing, you know. Ced's been doing, you know, I don't want to talk mostly about Ced.
Yeah.
You know, there's definitely different stuff. Like, see, he used to write, his earlier stuff was written, but now he's more into the freestyle kind of thing. But I think, you know, writing a song every now and then is great too, you know, just to see like, oh, what can I do with this skill that I haven't picked up in a while.
It's just like, obviously freestyling and doing that on every song you're releasing is impressive. And I mean, not even I can freestyle like that, you know what I mean? I put a lot of time into my lyrics, and I'm not saying that that's like the best way to go about it or anything. You know, do whatever works for you.
Exactly.
But I like to be clever, you know what I mean? I like to get those double entendres in there. That wordplay. You know, that's why we named this last project Bars, because we were like, we don't feel mature enough to comment on ourselves yet, so let's just like be fucking crazy on beat. Let's just like say the most clever shit that we can possibly say. And you know, the motto that we came up with for Bars was bars, period, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah,
that's how it started.
That is good. That's great. I gotta get into like a little project. Maybe this year, you know, that should be my resolution.
I've been
come out with a project.
I'll come out. Yeah. Dude, tune in, Lelouch.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, this is gonna keep me to my word. I'll put out some music.
A reminder, bro. Yeah. Every day you wake up, you set this.
I shouldn't have said that.
Put this speech as your alarm in the morning.
Yeah, Theodore Lucier, I'm going to put out new music in 2021.
Do you solemnly swear?
Preach. Take the oath.
Cross my heart.
Take the oath. The musician's oath, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been looking into it. I want to learn how to produce. You know, how to master music digitally. Yeah. I have, I have the tools I need to do it. It's just the software to use it is really like difficult to understand. There's a lot of parts to it. So.
You gotta take like a master class.
It's a big learning curve. It's a big learning curve. I've been messing around with it on my own, and I know I can like. I think master stuff a little bit, but making beats is a lot harder. It's
making beats is insane, dude. Props to anyone who goes through with that. Like that is crazy. But I think with the software too, I think the best thing to learn is just to try something. You know, say, with this song or whatnot, it's like, I want to go in this direction, so like how can I use this effect, then you go you YouTube how to use this effect on whatever software you're using, and you just learn that way. You just pick up little skills at a time. But yeah, that goes with everything too.
Yeah, it is just the time on that, bro. But I mean, like, that's the last thing that I need to really elevate it to the next level. You know what I mean? I know how to write. I know how to mix. I know how to produce it for the most part. I just like YouTube beats ain't cutting it anymore, bro. For the shit I want to do, they just ain't cutting it.
Yeah, you gotta find either someone who makes their own beats, or you gotta learn.
The beat in the background is just as much an extension of yourself as the lyrics are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, that's why I keep going back to it. But MF Doom, he has tracks that are strictly. He has albums. Just strictly just beats that he makes, and it's like crazy good. And then he obviously fantastic.
That's kind of why I'm actually interested in making beats. Like until like pretty recently, I don't know. I have a tough time like remembering the lyrics of songs. I don't pick up on like the stories they're telling or whatever. So I've always been more like just I guess attracted to like the musical part of it. Like not the lyrics so much, but the sounds that all the instruments or the beat is making, the rhythms and stuff. And that's why I really wanted to get into beat making. I have all these ideas, and it's harder to express that, I think, than like, if you have all these ideas that come into words, because words is something you can express like freely, easily.
Right.
Music like this is something you have to like, it's a craft. You have to like master the craft. You have to be able to like, whatever it is, an instrument you play, making beats, singing, it's like, you have to master it, not even master it, but you have to learn it before you're able to express like what you want to express.
Right. And I think that's a good thing too. I would go out there and learn. Music is not always the easiest thing, whether it comes to writing lyrics, making beats, just playing an instrument. It's very difficult, and the learning curve is always, it's really hard. But I would say, just try it out. I think it's one of the most satisfying things you can do, especially 100%. When you come out with like a project or
when you put work
a beat
into
or
something
anything.
like that. The payoff is crazy.
Oh my god! I think and showing it to your friends and they're like, "Oh, I actually like this." Like it's showing off your work and then receiving that serotonin, that dopamine rush.
Yes, sir.
I think there's studies where it's just like when you get complimented on something that you created, you get dopamine. I mean, that goes with like most compliments. But I think it's great. Like when I made that rap video, I thought, this is amazing. Like I didn't win that year. I didn't win that year, but I felt still good because it's just like, oh, I made this. Yeah, I made this little like thing that I can take with me through like for a while. Like this is a memory that.
That sense of accomplishment is huge.
Yeah, and then people see it and they're like, "This is great," Not too long. It was just like 3 verses, but man, yeah, and it was fun. It was fun. Always doing projects a project like that with your friends is probably one of the most fun things you can do as a group.
Yes,
like we want to create something, and we put a bunch of time into it and whatnot, and it goes with all artists, especially you when you created your EPs and Blas when it comes to learning video production or audio production or producing.
A lot of
things.
It goes pretty deep.
I have a lot of things I can talk about. To be honest, I'm not really accomplishing all of them. Like, I haven't put that much time into like learning things until recently, just because I've been like so caught up with life, like
school.
High school was hard for me. Just I don't know.
It was hard for everybody. I know I touched upon this in other episodes, but it's just like it's just not good for teen health at all.
And it's
just being in that. It's like there's that thing where it's like everyone puts like a poisonous bug in a jar, and then the most poisonous one survives. So you take it out, and that has the the most potent poison. And so it's just like that with high school. You just take a bunch of young prepubescent kids, pubescent kids, and you put them in a
concrete jungle.
In a concrete jungle box, and then you just let them go.
You shake them up and then leave them.
You force them to sit for 6 hours a day.
And then all but maybe one kid is like, "Oh, I loved high school."
I mean, high school it sucked, but it wasn't too bad. I was one of those people that was kind of chilling, but I was also in a relationship like through all of high school.
Yeah,
so.
well, there you go. We each have our different things. You're that one poisonous bug.
I was chilling, bro.
Yeah. I think realizing that high school is really nothing compared it's very taxing on your mental health and your social health and whatnot, and it gives you a bunch of stress and anxiety about the stupidest things, and then you come out of it, you're like, oh, like everyone's disappointed in themselves. It's like so stupid. You try to do one good thing and you're like, all this backlash and stuff. But it's, high school's over. I'm glad we're out.
So glad.
But yeah, I think once you realize like the school is not worth it for what it is. It's you get an education, great, but it's just not meant for some people, and accommodations can't always be met. And once you realize, oh, I don't need to focus much on grades or anything. This is like a social thing, obviously. Like, I'm just gonna go through with it. I'll only do some things. I'm not gonna do all my homework, but I'll do enough to pass. And then I'm gonna focus on things I like music, let's say, or if it's like art, visual art, or maybe just like a sport or a hobby that you like, something like that. It's just like you spend your time on that because you like to do it, and you can perfect it or refine it however you want. But then you still have to go to school, obviously, and it's worth it, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah,
I would say it's worth it. You get a degree, you can do your opportunities, increase when you're out of high school. You can do certain things. You can go into a trade. You can go into whatnot. But on your mental health and your mindset, I think it's tough for a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's important, like, especially like in the culture and the society we live in, like, it's not high school isn't the only way to be successful, but even if you're not going to go to higher education, it's still like really, really important to have a high school diploma. And so the education itself is important, but it's just such a rigid system that, like you said, it doesn't really allow that many accommodations for a lot of people. And it's like, I don't know how often like people like hear this phrase or anything, but like the phrase you don't judge off a fish on its ability to climb a tree. It's the same thing with school. Like, some people are good at that, like, set, like, you go to a certain amount of classes each day and then you do some homework. Like, some people are good at that. Some people are smart, but they're not good at, like, the way it's structured, and so, like, they struggle. They don't feel the need to do it. It's also just, like, a lot of hormones are in the mix for teenagers and stuff, and a lot of them are dealing with their own, like, mental health issues that, like, on top of the stress from being... And it's such a weird, like... just kind of social, like, structure too. Like, never again in life are you going to be in a situation like high school where it's like a group of like or how much was our grade? 300, 250?
Yeah, like
around 250, 300 kids or people, all your same age, all doing the same thing.
Yeah. And then times up by
like
4,
everyone knows each other, they see each other every day. Like, you're never going to like be in that kind of social situation again. And it puts a really weird like
not paying taxes
pressure on you.
Yeah.
Not paying taxes.
just like a bunch of kids. It's just like you don't have to do, and you don't have any responsibility. You have some maybe, but it's just like nothing compared to an adult.
That's why I miss it though.
Yeah, I do kind of.
Yeah, I miss being a kid.
There's freedom, and it's nice to know, like, your life, like your priorities are taken care of. So it's just like, oh, I'm always gonna have food. I'm always able to see people, see my friends. I have a place to sleep and whatnot, and I can learn new things, new hobbies, whatever. Yeah, and I do think that's great. But again, it's like
it's such a different feeling.
It's so different,
and I think part of it too is like what you were saying with all those needs. I mean, there are of course kids out there struggling, like they really don't know if they're gonna have like food to eat or like, a place to sleep or something. So it's like, of course for them it's different, but for all those kids going to school that do have all those needs met, I think since they've if they haven't had to struggle with that before in their life, they haven't felt like the urgency of that, the importance of that, and so to them these other things, like, not to belittle mental health or social health or anything like that, it is still really important, but to them, since they haven't experienced the need of like, am I going to be able to eat, stuff like, are people going to like me, seems almost like life or death to them. And like, it's the same thing with me. It's the same thing with everyone, who grew up well enough off like that. It's like, they haven't experienced like real like not danger, but like real. They haven't been in a situation where their life is like in
Right,
danger.
right. We're not going to war.
No, we're not going to get
just-
drafted. We're not gonna. Well, hopefully not.
Well, not for.
Not for a while.
You
But-
think the
I don't know, I feel
military is
like-
big enough that they?
I feel like
wouldn't need
they'll get robots on that for sure.
Think so? It's
By
just
the
all
drone
drone
By the
strikes.
next
Yeah.
war. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is such a different feeling now being at a high school. It's like when I was in high school, I was scared of like adult life. You know what I mean? But now that like I'm literally just working and I can do whatever I want in my free time, basically. Like I have a
Right.
car, I can drive somewhere, I have money,
Right.
I can go out and do something, and then
being that stable.
whenever
Yeah.
anyone else is busy, I'm probably also busy at work. You know what I mean? And it's just
Yeah.
like a stable schedule.
Yeah.
Even though that my sleep schedule is the
Yeah,
best,
yeah.
it's like
That's alright.
I'm either working or I'm chilling with the homies.
Yeah, there's so much stuff to blame nowadays. Oh, it's
Yeah.
COVID, you know.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. I can't go to sleep. Oh, I haven't been, outside getting my exercise. It's hard to sleep.
I wish we could. I wish it was warm so I could like go out and play
I wish it was
volleyball or
warm.
something.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, I wish the days were longer.
I miss
so I
going
could-
out and doing things.
Yeah, yeah. Don't we all? Yeah. Well, 2021. Here's the year. Yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah. My resolutions: make an album, make a project. Develop this podcast a little bit more. Go outside. I think
Go outside.
Go
Go
outside.
outside.
Go outside at all. Like that's it.
Get some vitamin D.
Yeah.
Get some- No, I got pills for that.
Hey, me too.
Well, the big
Over
ones.
the counter or prescription?
Over the counter. Yeah.
I needed a prescription. My vitamin D levels were
Prevent-
really low.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's probably the
Well, that's
reason
good
why I
that-
was like
that's
tired all the
really-
time.
Yeah, that's really vital for people.
Yeah.
It's one of the big, huge
Eat an
ones.
orange.
Yeah.
Go bask in the sun.
Eat it. Well, that's vitamin C.
Is it C? No,
Yeah.
it is.
Vitamin
C
orange is C.
C is
No,
C is
no, because they have sunny.
Citrus.
They have sunny.
Citrus.
No.
No,
'cause
sunny
isn't that
D
the
because
essence?
the sun is. Oh my. No.
It's
Vitamin
sunny-
C
I
is
think it's
definitely.
D.
Okay,
I
I
think
think
it's D.
Sunny
That's why it's
D
called
has
Sunny D.
vitamin D,
Sunny-
but oranges have vitamin C.
Dude,
Really?
Sunny D
I am
messes
sure of
me
this,
up
yeah.
right now. Like, why is it called
Why
Sunny
is it
D?
called Sunny D then?
Because the sun gives vitamin D. The sun's vitamin D.
Yeah,
But that's
to
so
fully
stupid. Or it's
to fully
vitamin C.
experience Sunny D, you have to drink it in the sun. You have to get that vitamin D too, as you're
You have
drinking
to.
the vitamin C.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Yeah. Then
What
it would be
about
slander
what about I like
otherwise.
send them an email?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Change your name.
Change your name to
right
Sunny
now.
C.
Sunny C.
Sunny C.
Still, yeah. It doesn't even rhyme. Sunny D doesn't even rhyme. It goes off the tongue, but it's like
Yeah.
That alliteration, bro.
yeah.
Sunny C.
D. Sunny C
Fuck,
is
it's Sunny,
also
Sunny D.
Sunny C is also. Oh yeah, that's not even alliteration. No, there's another one that it's just like the last part's rhyme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that's what it is. Sunny D, if you're out there, we're gonna come at you. We're gonna find you.
Send you an angry email, bro.
Yeah. A real bad
Why is your name the way it is?
review. Yeah. Sunny D, Mr. D. I'd like to say, you are misleading a bunch of consumers. I'm
Yeah.
suing you for libel.
False advertisement, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, what are my resolutions? My resolutions, I guess, are just put out another project. I mean, I got stuff in the works that I'm
Nice,
gonna put out. I
nice.
have a song that I might preview towards the end of the episode. We'll see.
Nice, alright. Okay.
But I guess my resolutions are just don't slip. You know,
Don't slip.
Don't slip.
just stay up.
That's
Don't
tough.
slip. That's all I need to remember.
Yeah. Oh,
I
I want
mean-
to. I want to announce this. Not that you said. So, I quit my job at Cutco. I didn't think it was right.
What were you doing there?
I don't think I was right for the job. It's just you had to contact everybody in your list of contacts, and ask them if they want to buy knives or if their parents want to buy knives. And yeah, 90% of the time it was a no. And I was like, I feel like people are gonna think a certain way about me if I keep selling, Cutco knives. But then also it's just like the way things are run in Cutco. Not to knock on the company itself. I think they're doing fine, but it's just like the recruitment. Get all your friends. We'll pay you or we'll give you a discount on the startup event of this season. If you recommend over 200 friends. And I'm like, 200? How many people do you think I know? 200 people on my contacts list? What are you talking about?
I maybe know like 8 people.
8 people I actually contact.
8 people on a good day.
70 people I have to delete their contacts from my phone.
Yep.
So after that, after they told me that, I was like, I feel like I'm too intruding, and I don't like to appear that way. For some people, it's not a bad thing. They don't mind it. It's their lifestyle. They don't. It wouldn't be weird for them to just contact their distant relatives and be like, "Hey, do you want to buy knives? I know I haven't talked to you ever in my life, but
try to buy some knives.
I'm trying to get $20 for this hour-long presentation, and I have to schedule them myself." And I was just like, "No, I'm not doing that." So, I just left it. And I got enough Christmas money where I'll be like, I'll hold.
I'll hold for a little while.
I don't need a job. I can find something else somewhere.
I didn't have a job for a while until I recently got my Amazon job.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff Bezos. You hate him, but you love him.
I mean, he's paying me $16 an hour.
So. All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
Right, I'll take it. Yeah. I mean, he does give a lot of people jobs, which is great, but he can donate a little bit. I know he does donate, but does he really need that much money?
There's a certain point where it's like
you don't need that.
It's like, what do you have money to spend on?
Yeah.
If you have so much money that your company is sustained by it and you're still the richest person in the world.
Yeah.
That doesn't check out.
Yeah,
I know that the only reason that Bezos does this is to get tax breaks. So it's like, it's not that admirable, but, his company does offer a lot of there are just kind of a lot of plans to give back to the community. Like they every employee gets I think a certain amount of money to buy, work shoes for free. So if you don't have the money, you can afford nice.
It could be
work
a
shoes.
write-off or something.
Yeah, I think
they feed us a shit ton too.
They give us.
They
food.
come in with Subway and shit every other day.
That's
it's
great.
crazy.
I forget. Aidan knows more about this than I do. I think because he's looked into it more. But they have a tuition program.
Yeah, they have an academy tuition program.
That's great.
Yeah, so they do give back to the community.
Right.
It'd be better if it was a little more, bit more, because he is doing that to get the tax breaks. But
I mean, he does give a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the tuition, with the food, with the wages. Being so high.
You can't.
I think it's great. I mean, if he's doing so well and he's giving that much already, it's just good for him. But also, he's doing it a little too well. So you could drop a few.
You gotta respect the hustle, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the man has made it.
Yeah, I think being that rich, you can do whatever you want with your employees. You can be that generous with them.
I wonder what he's like. I wonder what it's like to sit down and have a conversation with Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos. Dang.
One day.
You probably learn a lot.
One day.
Jeff, if you're listening, I'll have you on. I'm not gonna knock you, but. Yeah.
Donate more.
Donate more. Donate to this. If you go on anchor.fm.
Yeah.
Ted Culture.
Donate to Ted Culture.
Donate.
Bro.
You can get the link off of the YouTube page.
We ain't even just talking to Bezos anymore. Donate to Ted Culture.
Donate to Ted Culture. Right here. This is where.
Run it out.
This is where it happens. Invest. Give me some stocks. Come on. Yeah. We're legit.
It's not a bad setup though. I gotta say.
I think it's nice. It's
got
a lot
of
different.
Character.
That's exactly.
It's got a lot of character.
Exactly. Before, when I was at Suffolk, we used a public place where you could. I signed up for a time and I cleaned and made sure everyone was tested, so it was okay. But it's just it wasn't. It didn't give off my. It wasn't home.
Yeah.
It was just I'm borrowing this.
Were they rooms specifically for recording things, or was it just a room that
they did have a? They do have a radio station where they have recording equipment, but I just used one of the study rooms. I just used one of the study rooms.
I was gonna say, I remember going. I forget on a college tour. I forget which one it was, but they had a whole section of a building that was just recording booths.
That's
it was just isolated
was it
sound
Berkeley
booths.
or something?
It might have been Berkeley.
Yeah, Berkeley goes.
Maybe Emerson.
Off. They go. Oh, Emerson.
Maybe Emerson or something like that.
I know they have a lot of they're very into the arts and getting a major in the arts, so they have a bunch of unique. You can go into radio. You can go into comedy.
Going to college for comedy.
Let's
go.
That's crazy.
Comedy college.
Yeah, comedy college. Go to Emerson
go.
if you want to be a comedian. But, I don't know if it's a good degree, so I would check up on that. But
Yeah, I remember thinking like, man, everything in that room is so expensive, and I want it.
Yeah.
I want all of the foam and everything.
Yeah,
They had
all
the mics.
the foam.
All the mics were like hanging from the ceiling, like they all went into a
gosh.
central system.
That's
That is
amazing.
so nice.
That's amazing.
I was like, I would love to get studio time in there,
yeah,
bro.
literally anything. Yeah, that would be good. That would be
It
good.
would be great.
Yeah, this is humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings.
That's what I'm talking about.
You always got to start somewhere.
Gotta
Exactly.
crawl before you can walk, bro.
Yeah.
Who are we if we don't evolve?
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. That hits. Yeah, humble beginnings. That's great. No, what was that? What was that? Remember, there was a radio thing like before we were born, and everyone was like scared that the world was gonna end. Cause
Yeah, it was like
existed.
It's like an alien.
And they were
Like
oh,
it was like a
aliens from
huge
Mars are
alien prank.
attacking. And
There was a
everyone
podcast.
just like
I think I remember
Or
what
there
you
was
were
a
talking
radio
about.
station.
Yeah, there was a certain
We-
radio station that like pranked everyone, and everyone
we
thought
read
they were
about
gonna
that.
everyone
die.
thought it was real.
We read about that in
and-
middle school, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember about
Yeah.
that.
Anarchy.
It was supposed to be like a psychology experiment or something like that. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
It could have just been a joke.
It could have just
Like
been a joke,
anybody-
but I mean,
It
I
was just
I
a
would've
radio
done it.
station. But that would be hilarious.
That
if
would
I
be
was,
hilarious.
If I was there, with my present knowledge, I'd just be like, "This is hilarious. What this station
Yeah,
is
these
doing
guys are
is
good.
Like, we're talking about, like, if I have Twilight Zone, like, what is going on?
Then the sun explodes, and you're like, "Oh, they weren't
Oh,
kidding.
they were. Yeah, it was real. Oh well.
They were not joshing, bro."
I got like 3 seconds to live. Yeah, great, good stuff.
You got 3 seconds left, and you're like, "Wow, I really just."
Well,
got
you would
fooled."
die before you would see the. No, you'd see the sun explode first, and then you would die because light
Yeah.
travels faster than.
I guess
Yeah.
since we were talking about apocalypses and stuff, I just thinking about like what people would do if they were told like you only have a certain amount of time to live, be it like an hour, a day, a week, or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously like there would be riots, people like society would break down, people would be
Right.
like it would be kind of like the purge, but
But nowadays,
about-
I don't think it could happen.
think about the
honestly.
amount of people that would probably go to like I don't know Target, Walmart, whatever, and just like steal things, but like
It doesn't
what's
mean
the
anything.
point, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, there's plenty of shows saying like, "Oh, looting is like so stupid," and it's just like we shouldn't have that. There was what's the guy in New York? There's a politician in New York who's just like the big guy that everyone hates.
No clue.
the big guy that everyone
not
hates.
not the big guy, but he's like
He's
the
big.
mayor. I think he's the mayor.
The mayor, yeah.
in New York.
Fucking, sorry. Can we swear on this
You can
podcast?
swear.
Let's go. What's his name?
I
know who you're
forget his
talking about.
name.
about.
I
Okay.
remember seeing like an Instagram post or something about him, but I forget his name.
Yeah. But anyway, he was like, who said riots are supposed to be peaceful?
Mhm.
And I was like, this is so stupid. Like, of course they're supposed to be peaceful. They have to be peaceful. A violent riot of looting. It's just all horrible. Like the founding fathers
That's all
would
selfish.
never say.
Yo, what
you
about
know.
the Tea Party though? The Boston Tea
Boston
Party.
Tea Party.
That was for a cause.
That was
I
for a
mean,
cause.
like, not to
That
say
made a
anything.
statement.
I think some people just take that shit too far.
Well, yeah. There's.
You know
I think
what mean?
that today there's also a difference between like
Also, it wasn't
protesting.
a-
Even there's even a difference.
It wasn't a
between protesting
government organized thing.
Yeah,
The Tea Party was just like, oh, we're just gonna.
It gets lost in
boys are gonna-
translation.
it
You know
does.
what I mean?
It does.
Yeah.
It's Cuomo, by the way. That's
Oh, Cuomo.
Cuomo,
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Like the idea itself. Like I find myself in politics and stuff like that, like agreeing with a lot of ideas and premises, and
then
then
not,
when people put it into action,
yeah.
I'm like, man,
Yeah.
why'd you gotta go and do that,
You
man?
didn't have to. You could have just said it. Like, you didn't have to actually do it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Words are the best resistance, bro.
That's true.
That's why we make music out here.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You can. Andrew Schultz. I just listened to. He did a podcast with. He was on Whitney Cummings' podcast, and I listened to that, and he said, he was answering a question on if he was going to be a politician, just because he has like these grand ideas that can start a movement and whatnot. But he said no, because politicians, artists can actually sway the country more than a politician can.
100%.
For sure, it can sway culture, which is great. And this is why we're here, bro. About the arts.
It is about the art, bro.
Yeah,
Do what you want. Your voice can be your most powerful weapon.
exactly. You don't have to be a politician. You don't have to be anything. You just have to have a voice and an opinion. and you can.
You ain't got to be powerful to be influential.
Exactly. Yeah. Just make people listen, and or find a way to get people to listen.
Whether they like it or not.
Yeah, whether they like it or not, you can change some ideas with that.
Mm-hmm.
I know politics is pretty shifty right now. There's a whole thing with the stimulus check, and it's like so stupid. It's like Mitch McConnell needs to. I don't want to get political or anything, but Mitch McConnell needs to die, right? He's getting too old.
I'm not an economist or anything, right? So I could be completely wrong here, but look at for example, Canada. I think they've given out stimulus checks every month.
Yeah.
A lot of countries in Europe have given out stimulus checks every month, and their economy is still doing good. It's like, I know the economy is a big concern for a lot of people here in the U.S. politically, but our economy is still going to do fine. All of the money that's going all of the money that we're supposedly losing by not having all this business happening and everything, it's our own money that we're not spending, but we're still paying taxes to the government and everything. And the purpose of the government, in my opinion, the purpose of the government should be to govern the country and to help the people. That is the purpose for the government, I think.
Yeah.
The government shouldn't be running the country as its own entity. For foreign diplomacy and everything, it is important to present yourself as a single entity, the entity of the country. But you shouldn't be running the country itself like that. You should be running the country in a way that helps the people, because the citizens are the country. You need representation for foreign diplomacy, right. And that's where that kind of style of governing comes in, or I guess thinking. But all this to say, give money back to the people. The economy is not going to be hurt by
Jeff Bezos.
The economy is not going to be hurt by giving money to the government.
I feel like all that money is going to get recycled again eventually anyway.
And the issue is
exactly,
especially during a time right now. Remember when people were clearing the racks of toilet paper, bro?
Yeah.
That's definitely going to happen another time in our lifetime.
Oh
so you're going to give people money and they're going to spend it.
They get it, right.
So
they will circulate it.
The purpose of money.
We are going to...
It's not like people are going to just take
I'm going to hold on to this money until I die.
This stimulus check is going in my grave.
$600.
Yeah. The 600, not 2,000. Mitch McConnell, I'm sorry. 600. It's just I'm going to pocket this, and I'm not going to spend it ever.
I'm not going to eat tonight like I need the money.
I'm going to burn this money.
Burn this.
I'm going to burn this. Forget circulating it. It's going to be gone from the world.
And it's on top of that, we spend so much money on the military. We spend so much. I think we've spent
not to say that the military is not important.
No, of course it's not important. Of course, it does. It's not that we should stop spending completely. Obviously, we should spend. I think even a good amount. I'm not a militaristic person. I personally don't even agree, or no disrespect to any veterans or any people actively in the military right now.
In fact, respect.
Respect. Yes,
you.
I think all of the people in the military deserve respect. Mm-hmm. Just like any other person.
Right. It's a challenging thing, and it's a mental toughness thing. I couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I commend that.
And those people are separate from the military as an entity.
Right.
But
they're not leading the military.
It is somewhat important for us to have a strong military. We are considered one of the superpowers of the world, and it is important just because of our status in the world. It is important to have I think it's always important. A larger military, just in case someone attacks us, we need to be protected.
Right.
But
and I think it's always important to have a pretty solid.
But we have spent
defense.
So much money. I think maybe 7. You know what? I'm not even gonna throw any figures out.
It's the majority of the national budget.
But looking,
they definitely have guns we don't know
looking
about.
Into
they have these crazy planes now,
rail guns and shit like that.
Yeah, they have insane weapons, and they're always testing for newer things.
Yeah, I remember seeing an article where they're testing with a tank that just has a giant speaker on top of it, and they blast high frequency sounds at the enemy until their eardrums bleed or something like that. That is literally insane.
Oh my god!
I was like, what?
Yeah. You can wage wars from the other side of the world with drones.
Yeah, you literally can.
With drones. That's what it's going to be.
That's broken.
We're definitely
humans should not be that powerful.
Yeah.
We really shouldn't.
It won't be humans anymore. We'll all just be robots. All of us. Once we get the neurochip.
That's how it's going to go, bro.
It'll be Black Mirror. They'll take out the chip and put us in a robot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be down for that, honestly, though, bro.
No.
Being a non-flesh.
I think
being a non-flesh thing.
You know, psychologically, we are not designed to live forever. Like our mental state.
We can hold a lot of memories.
At a certain point, you'd be like a full hard drive, bro. Like you just wouldn't be able to take in.
Not even that. Just psychologically, like your mental state is going to deteriorate. Like you are not. You
become like a potato inside of a microwave.
You don't have the tools to handle immortality.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I would like it, but I mean, you know.
I'd like to be able to see what happens to the universe.
Yeah, I would love to see what happens.
I'd love to see that
after I'm gone, but I don't want to be there for it.
I'd want to
maybe not live forever, but maybe live just a little bit longer. You know.
Yeah. Just spectate.
Just maybe double. Yeah. Maybe not forever, but maybe another 100 years.
I'd like to live another 100 years. I can make that.
That'd be great. I could see the future. So, live through so much. It'd be good stuff. And I'd still
good amount of time.
Yes, yeah. And I don't think being fully immortal would be great. I feel like I would get tested on or something if I was fully immortal. They'd be like, "Oh, he'll never die. Nuke him." No. Being somewhat immortal.
That's not how that works.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't think you would survive a nuke. Impossible. But something like, I could die, but it's just like if nothing happens to me, then I could live, forever. Would be great.
Immortality, not invincibility.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that would be interesting.
Yeah.
It would be interesting, yeah.
Because then, I would still have that feeling like, I could die, and I would, I wouldn't act recklessly and stupid, but...
I feel like we're at such a fucking rising action of the Earth right now in the history of the Earth. You know what I mean? And I want to see like what becomes of it.
Yeah.
Like there's so much going on today that's like completely changing the world from how it was even like 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I just want to see how it evolves.
Civilization has been around for such a little time, like geologically speaking.
Yeah.
In the scale of like the history of the Earth, in the history of life. Like, even humans haven't been around for that long. Humans have been around for, our species.
Right.
We've been around for 2 million years. Civilization has only been around for, like, I think 8,000 years at most, maybe. I don't know how old the first civilizations were, like Catalhuyuk and all that, but, like, the ancient Egyptians could perform surgery. We've come up with so much technology in, like, such a short amount of time. Like, even look at 200 years ago, how different the world was. We are advancing so fast, and people think like technology doesn't develop that fast. We are developing it so fast.
Yeah, think of like 20 years ago technology versus today.
Yeah,
no 4K,
no 4K.
Ultra HD.
And it's also like
CDs, bro.
DVDs. People don't even use streaming
DVDs anymore. People don't use DVDs anymore.
Yeah, Netflix, bro. Was Netflix even around?
Even Netflix is falling out of favor now, though.
If Netflix was around back then, it would be the blockbuster.
Oh yeah.
They would deliver. Yeah, Netflix is kind of.
And it's crazy because they used to be. Netflix adapted. Like,
yeah.
I remember back in the day when you used to be able to like order movies off of Netflix and it would show up at your house and you would watch it and then return it.
Yeah, it's still kind of that like that no contact kind of vibe where it's just like you're not going to a store or anything. It's all from at home. You call, I want this movie, or you order it online or something. But
that's disconnection though.
Yeah.
Separation is limitation.
Preach, bro. Preach. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I feel like people don't talk to other people enough anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, with COVID, it's hard, obviously. But I think raising children to just be, these antisocial kids. I mean, not saying that you can control that because everyone's antisocial. Some people just take it, to a next level. Whether it's like through an anxiety condition or something, but yeah, I mean, I think with the way kids are raised through technology, it's just like, I live through this world on a screen.
Yeah,
it definitely.
There's this one funny video. It's
there's definitely like some psychological effects from it.
Yeah. There's this one funny video where it's like this little kid, or no, I don't even think. I think he's like a young adult, and he's just like, who needs the nuclear family life, who needs the 2.5 kids, a beautiful wife, and a dog, when I could be saving princesses and and fighting in wars and traveling through space. It's just like,
That's
dude,
heading,
that's too much.
heading towards the chip, bro.
That's it. Yeah, that is gonna be the chip. That could be happening. Yeah, we could be in a coma and live through. We could be in the Matrix.
Right now, bro.
I think I was talking about this on a different podcast, or maybe just
with Joe?
someone personally. I don't know if it was with Joe, but it's just like, I think it was off the air, but it's just like we could be a hard drive. Like the Earth could just be a hard drive in the future, and then just like an alien travels with us on a spaceship.
I feel that.
We could be in a simulation.
That would be so weird.
And if it does happen, it's just like, am I gonna mind it? Because what is the world to me? You know, we could be on a hard chip right now, a hard chip, and
that would be crazy.
Yeah,
that would be crazy. I like believing stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because it's creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, entertaining all these creative possibilities is fun, and I think like, if you think outside of the box a lot like that, you start to realize things about just kind of like the world, like, you know, existence, reality, whatever, and also just kind of like about your life and how you see life and everything, how you perceive it, thinking outside the box and stuff. Like, you start to see through, like,
you become your own person.
You start to see through a lot of things, you know.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
like people take our culture for granted, and not for granted, but people grow up, like, you know, with whatever culture surrounding them, and they see the world through that culture, and a lot of people just don't question it. A lot of people think, like, you know, this is the way the world is, but like, why? Like, it could be other ways. Like, I know for example, like, language is a huge part of what shapes your perception of the world. Like, for example, there are cultures where there are cultures and languages where there's no word for a corner. Like, you know, like just like a 90-degree angle, a corner.
Right.
And so, you know, they don't see corners the same
like
way we do.
Architecture, just like being in their society, you know, independently, you know, forming itself. It's like, yeah, you're right. There are no corners. There's no word for a corner because there are no corners. Everything is just like around. All their houses are around.
But even if there are, it's like they'll still see, like,
they'll just look right there.
They'll still see it. They'll still see, like, you know, the shadows and everything.
That is the corner.
But like, if I point to a corner and ask you what it is, you'll say a corner. They'll just be like, you know, it's the wall. It's like the
it's
wall.
Where the
it's
walls
not
meet
two walls in a corner. It's just the wall.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like, for example, I think in all right, like, pink and red are technically the same color, right? Like, pink is light red.
It's just a light red.
It's just light red.
Yeah.
But because we have that, like, distinction in English, people who speak English can actually distinguish between tones of red better. And in Russia, it's like the opposite. They have two, like, light blue and dark blue are like two separate colors for them. The same way pink and red is for us. And they can distinguish, like, people who speak Russian can distinguish between different shades of blue better than Americans can.
Yeah, dude. Think of all these people who sell, like, these paints at Home Depot. Like, they must have the best. Oh, this is actually aquamarine, not teal.
Looking for this specific. They, like, know the number for it and everything.
Oh, no,
on the color wheel.
It's not maroon. It's brick. Come on. Burgundy, please.
You know, I always thought chartreuse was pink.
I don't even know.
It's apparently like a light. It's apparently like a light.
What did you call it?
Chartreuse.
What is it?
It's like a light green, but like I always thought it was pink.
What's
Really?
Yeah.
What's periwinkle? Isn't that a light blue or something?
Like a light blue, like light purple.
Oh.
It's like kind of like lilac.
Okay.
You know,
darker or lighter?
Lilac, yeah, just use
bluer.
Bluer?
Yeah.
But still purple, kind of.
It's like indigo.
Indigo.
Yeah.
It's like light.
But like
indigo.
light.
Indigo's a little bit of violet.
Yeah.
The way I see it, at least.
Yeah, violet and purple. Isn't that weird? We have two words for one thing.
Yeah, right.
And then one word for two things, and it's just so confusing. Violet.
Language is
complex, bro.
So complex. Such a weird thing.
Oh, it's light blue. It's cyan.
Actually. Well, see, that comes with, how do you know you're seeing the same color, though?
Dang.
Oh, I can get into this conversation.
Like, how do I look at this, or like this tag right here, and tell you, yo, Ted, that's yellow? Like, what if you're seeing like blue or something?
Yeah, but then all my yellows would look blue. and so my blue would be yellow.
This is still
could,
yellow
right?
to all of us.
Like
This-
everyone will call this yellow
Yeah.
if I see it
Because
as
that's what
blue.
you're told it is. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. So yeah, I'm just calling yellow blue.
Colors don't even exist.
I'm calling blue yellow. Is in my head.
Mhm.
Colors don't exist. That's
Colors
actually
really
true.
don't exist.
They're
Colors do
wavelengths.
not
They're
exist.
just
And
vibration.
we only absorb red, green, and blue wavelengths. So like, yeah, this
Right,
looks
and
yellow.
mixes, yeah.
And
It could be something completely different.
yellow light
reality.
yellow
Yeah.
light does bounce off it, but we only see like red and green light. So we don't actually see like yellow light or like purple light or whatever, you know.
Purple, orange.
We don't see those different. We only see red, green, and blue,
Yeah,
and then
the
our
mixtures
brain
of them.
like mixes it all.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
And then there are people. I think it's called tetrachromia. Some people are born with a fourth cone for detecting a fourth wavelength of light, and they can see like thousands more colors than we do. It's crazy.
That's
Imagine
insane.
seeing that. Like
Imagine seeing
Imagine
You
another
you
could-
see
color.
you
you
could
see
not
two
you couldn't
squares that are yellow, right? And then someone comes up with an extra chrome, you know, a cone. Sorry. And they can see the differences between those two yellow squares. Like,
That would be crazy though. I can't. You literally physically can't imagine another color.
Yeah.
they couldn't. And they would see like
they
you know,
can see like another
shadows and
dimension.
reflections
They
different
literally
from us
see
too,
another
yeah.
dimension
Mhm.
of a color. That's crazy. That's insane.
Other dimensions, bro.
Other
Yeah.
dimensions.
Other dimensions.
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
other
to think about.
dimensions.
They do
So-
exist. That's the crazy thing.
That's insane.
Talking about
Imagine.
other dimensions.
I keep thinking like, what if we are like a carbon-based life form, and we see things that are, or we don't necessarily see, but we can recognize things that are in the periodic table of elements.
Mhm.
Like, what if there's like a whole different kind of system that's like simultaneous to ours, like electricity or something, and like there are beings within like electrical based life forms. Isn't that crazy?
You know, we never know
communicate
because-
Yeah, we
that.
would.
we
But it wouldn't be electricity; it'd be something completely different.
Like energy.
yeah,
and then
people,
you need like a fourth cone to pick it up. or
like
something.
a lot of people, if you try to like bring up an idea like that, they'll be like, no, you know, it couldn't exist. But I think
Yeah.
every like you know, who speaks language and who do we converse with? Literally only humans, only people. And so we always tend to have, no matter what culture you're from, you still have you have like an anthrocentric viewpoint
Mm.
from like you know the viewpoint of a person.
Right.
So it's like very difficult for people to do at first, but like if you try to think like outside of that, like you know what is life, and you know we do have like you know in biology there's I don't know, there are certain requirements to meet like what is considered biological life, but there could be
Right.
like you know because life is really just a self-contained system that keeps running, like you know
Right.
cells and stuff like that. So what if there are other forms of self-contained systems like that
We just can't perceive.
we can't perceive, that we haven't been able to notice? We don't have the technology to pick up on. We can't imagine they exist yet, because I mean, like, think about it.
They're like ghosts.
What we talk
Yeah.
about sounds crazy
It's
right
like
now,
ghosts,
but like
ghosts probably are definitely real.
Oh yeah,
You know
I
what
think
I mean?
tons
But
of
so, like,
things are real that
yeah.
people have.
we don't
claimed to
know what consciousness is. We can't explain consciousness through science.
That's
yet.
true.
Like,
yeah.
at all.
It's just like I'm not gonna know what the different electrical currents in my brain. Like it's so like I could do or say anything, right, or do or say most things right now, but it's all just like an electrical signal. You know what I mean? And it's just like I can think. Humans are so creative; they can think of legit anything and make new pathways in your brain. But it's just so like the human mind is so complex, and it's just like
It's
And to
crazy.
think that there's things that we still don't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what makes me think like, yo, anything could be possible.
There's
Right.
always gonna be something we don't understand. I think that's pretty cool. Just like
That's
you know,
what
you can
that's
always
what's gonna
learn
drive
more.
us to
You can
evolve,
always
though.
learn more. Yeah.
right. Crawl before you walk. Isn't that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like especially going back to that energy thing I said. I mean, it's like it's weird because it's the same like chemical makeup that like we come from, like carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, stuff like that is like the same stuff that the universe was created from. You know what I mean? So
It's
it's like we are the universe. The universe
We
is
are the
us.
universe's child.
Positive. We're just energy being absorbed, dispersed, and translated through the universe, experiencing itself an infinite number of times
Yeah, we
in
could
different
be.
ways.
We could just be
Yeah.
blobs.
That's what I'm saying.
Or like they're like amoeba. We could just be like amoeba or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We could be anything, and
we could be anything.
when you die, like what happens when you die? It could be anything. If you're energy and you're being transferred, maybe reincarnation is just misunderstood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe reincarnation is the right idea.
I could see like
not even to say that I definitely believe that, but I could see the sense that it makes.
Yeah, and it's like the circle of life almost, where it's just like
exactly.
you die. Especially if you get eaten, like
that's the transfer animal, or that's the absorption.
I could see that being.
It's just like you're a being. And then you get eaten by another being, and that's your energy there. It's like some energy goes to the earth, some energy goes to the.
That energy is going to be digested through that animal, decomposed into the dirt. The dirt's going to give life to a tree. The tree's going to give life to the earth, and the earth is going to give life to so many other organisms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be like what reincarnation was like supposed to be. Because I think there are a lot of today, like just a lot of myths that we know of and everything, and like so many different religions, and there are all these crazy stories about mythical creatures and gods and like all these crazy things.
Yeah.
And I think humans have a knack for just kind of like embellishing and being creative and making things more creative, because I think where it comes from is sometimes language isn't the perfect tool to express how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So like for example, if something happens, something just mundane, for example, like let's just say like, oh, I tripped over this rock and fell, but that doesn't really like fully explain how I felt to you, right? Like for example, it was like, so I was walking and I don't know, and you elaborate a lot, and so over time, the message, the translation, like
of what was actually happening and being felt.
Or you can like think something in your brain and show no change at all physically. It's like you'll mentally, I just had this thought about someone, but then it doesn't physically change.
Clicks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like I don't say anything. I don't, my expression hasn't changed, but it's something, new information was presented.
And like you and I are never gonna think the exact same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. No, but to go back to the reabsorption in the earth and other animals, like, do you think, religion? So when you think of, I'm gonna die. Am I going to be in an urn? Am I going to get cremated, or am I going to get buried, or what? And it's like being buried goes against this kind of like getting absorbed into nature.
Yeah, it puts you in a box and you rot.
Right, and you rot. Nothing gets reabsorbed, or so it's just you're trapped, in that thing. With cremation, there's other things like you can turn into a tree, which I think is like probably the coolest thing.
That's like the coolest thing.
Like that's like you get buried, but also you become
a
life.
Tree.
Yeah, your energy. You know where your energy. Well, I mean, you're ashes at that point, but
still, you take some solace in the fact that you know what's going to happen to you after you die.
Yeah. Which is fantastic.
That is so interesting.
No, but it's just like these religions are so, the anthro-focused kind of mindset. It's just like, humans are going to be us. We're separate from nature, and but we got to realize, what we do. Nothing is unnatural. If you think about this, nothing is unnatural.
No, it's not. We were talking about this the other day. Like,
even
sprawling
cities,
urban cityscapes, skyscapers.
Cities were
technically
made
by us.
We are natural.
And we are natural.
Yeah.
People think that there's
we are invasive.
We're made of the same stuff.
Yeah.
People think there's this clear line, this clear distinction. Like, there's nature, and then there's
humans.
man, human, man-made. Yeah. But no, like even like
New
York City,
ecology.
New York City
I took a whole course on this.
You did, but New York City, I saw that. New York City is like, it's like we think of it as different, but it's just essentially the same thing as like a forest or a desert or the ocean.
They call it the concrete jungle, which I think is one of the best things that you can say about a city. It's literally, it's nature. It's like, just because humans are creative, we can make huts. Monkeys can make huts to an extent.
There are animals adapting to live in the city now. They are evolving.
Are you gonna call a bird nest unnatural? No.
Are you gonna call termite mounds unnatural?
Exactly.
Termite mounds are literally like buildings,
nests, beehives, all of that.
Anything. That's not unnatural. And I think that should be stated.
But I think all of religion just gets lost in time. All of the ideas get lost in time.
I do believe if you catch on with something and you really like it and you enjoy it, it brings you purpose and it brings you, happiness. Definitely 1000%.
Stand by that.
Stand by it. Go with that religion.
That's how you perceive that.
Whatever you do. Like, just because you're going to be in a box and not go into the earth doesn't mean you're being a shitty person at all. It's just a different view on things, Yeah. And I think, some people want to have that more natural or embrace with nature,
Mm-hmm.
and other people just want to be in boxes and go to heaven. Have that mindset. And everything's completely different. All religions are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
There's cults that believe in weird stuff too, but it's just like to each their own. If you want to believe in something, as long as it doesn't hurt me, offend me, I don't care.
And by no means is any of it correct, and by no means is any of what we believe correct.
Yeah.
Anything is possible with that.
Anything.
I personally think the idea of God is just the strive to find the unity of human consciousness.
I think that too, because it's huge. I think it's one of the things I think. I mean, I'm a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Catholic, so I do believe in most of the stuff. And but I do think that God and having God in a society is probably one of the biggest and best things that
Mm-hmm.
it's like one of the most influential things throughout history is Christianity. And I think that's so important, and because it formed societies, it formed ground rules and manners for kids growing up and whatnot, and I think it was hugely important.
The one setback with it is when it becomes too involved and corrupt, because there's some corrupt people out there in religion.
Abuse, like when you abuse the power.
Yeah.
When you start calling yourself.
I mean, I don't doubt that the people that could be corrupt are smart people, you know what I mean? And they know a lot of things, and, knowledge is power, and power is whatever you want it to be, and whatever you choose it to be is who you are.
Yeah. Say you're a descendant of God, and then you can rule an entire country.
I don't doubt that, like, Jesus Christ was a real person that walked the earth, you know what I mean? And talked about all of this and spread it to other people. But I just think...
They have his grave.
I think people looked at that and said, man, that guy could have ruled the world, but he didn't, and that's the idea.
Right.
And then there are people who look at this like, wow, I could like
he holds so much power. I think it's like that idea where, he holds so much power but doesn't choose to use it, so I'm gonna use that power, I'm related to God, so I can do whatever I want.
Unfortunately, people use that power for evil sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think this is kind of like a radical statement a bit, and I don't mean it like entirely.
That's
but
okay.
Like,
shoot for the moon.
Bro.
And
like,
up in the
I think in
stars.
my opinion, society has advanced past the need for religion, and religion is somewhat holding it back, at least in its current state. So I think, when I say religion, I mean more kind of like the organized like religion itself, not so much like
Not so much the worship.
Not so much like the personal actions that people take. I think that's still perfectly fine. But I think like, for example, like you were saying, religion came about like originally it was just kind of like codes and tenets to live a better life. Like, for example, if you take Sodom and Gomorrah, a lot of people I think misinterpret this verse from the Bible, but it's basically saying that their kingdom came to ruin because instead of like being responsible, giving back to the people running their city, country, like city, state, whatever it was. All they were partying. They were just like eating, getting fat. They were drinking. They were having sex and all that. And that's what led to ruin.
Right. It's like all these, and then they say like, all these pleasures shouldn't be happening because it's like almost as if people in that time were like using them as an example. Oh, these people are having such a blast, but their kingdom is getting destroyed or whatever.
And it's about being responsible.
So I'm not gonna. Yeah, it's about being responsible. It's just like so I'm not gonna do these things.
And then the
which
thing is,
which leads to some kind of like.
But over time, it's been mistranslated, and now it's used as like it's used as an argument against, homosexuality in Christianity over time, and it's like the same thing with, and it's also not just like people purposefully changing the message over time, but just stuff lost in translation in general. Like I forget which one this one is exactly. I think it might have been somewhere in like the Corinthians or something, but whoever, like, to be honest, I don't know much about this. I just know kind of like a few like parts here and there, but the letter was talking about these weird people who were the Greeks who were having it was like the master apprentice relationship where the master had an apprentice that was like a 13 to 17-year-old boy, something like that,
I believe,
and they were having sex like that was the Greek culture back then. They had sex, and an outsider to that culture saw it, and I was like, they were like, what the fuck, why are these grown men having preying on these underage
yeah,
boys.
No, it's crazy because,
and that's what they said was wrong. But
right.
again, that got translated to men shall not lay with other men, where it was really men shall not lay with other boys. But
right.
through the transfer of languages and stuff, that got changed. Like if you do it with Google Translate, you'll see that kind of thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that got changed over time. That got lost, and that became another argument against homosexuality. And I'm using that example a lot because that's kind of like one of the examples I know more about. But there are a lot of little things like that in everything.
Right. Right.
A lot of lost words.
Exactly.
I bet you if you had read the Bible when it was first made, the Bible, you know what I mean?
The first Bible.
The first Bible, it probably would have been a lot different.
Definitely. And there's so many religions that change up the rules a little bit. So it's just there's so many different sub religions throughout Christianity, like Catholics, and then you have Protestants,
Greek Orthodoxy,
Greek Orthodox, and many more. But that goes with many other religions too. But it's just they follow different rules. So some are more strict towards the original Bible. Some are more strict towards their adapted Bible. Some are less strict with the Bible and more into the Pope. It's just all different stuff, and it's it's the same, different interpretations. I would say is what they I read it like this. He means this, so that's how my idea of Christianity. It's their idea, that what they think of the Bible and the whole story,
and then
what it's teaching us.
For example, Cain and Abel. Again, I don't know that much about this, but do you I don't know how many people out there. Because I think I know there are a few people that do strictly believe everything the Bible states as fact is it happened, including creationism and all that. Are you one of those people?
I don't know.
Because I feel in my opinion, those were myths kind of made, but to tell a story, not so much this is what happened, but in the same way as whatever Greek mythological origin stories or whatever, the war with the gods and everything. But for example, Cain and Abel, personally, I don't believe that it's someone recounting the story of, they were the children of Adam and Eve, or who were they the children of?
I don't
know. But one brother killed the other because they were jealous that God was showing favor to his pastures, I think, compared to his animals. And then because he killed his brother, God punished him, and he could not anywhere he walked, things died. My belief isn't that happened and someone was recording it, but that was more that it was a metaphor. Don't kill your family members because of jealousy or because of these negative emotions, because then you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. And you're going to kind of bring ruin to your own life because of that.
Right.
It doesn't bring anything good, and I think it's a
moral
metaphor. They're all moral metaphors,
and that's what going back to how society was structured by religion. I think that was very crucial in that it gave these ideas, these morals to kids, and then they take it to the next level when they grow up, and everything. Society could be structured from that one book. Is how
I mean, if you look at the Ten Commandments, if you look at it and think about it, you're that makes sense. Don't cheat, don't overindulge. You know what I mean?
Don't
lie. Just be a good person and stuff like that. But it's just it's when people take it too far that it becomes a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
you shouldn't be waging holy wars.
Separation is limitation.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be waging holy wars or whatever, that kind of stuff.
The idea
that's
of religion
is
unity. It shouldn't divide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And for example, I'm a very big believer in science and everything. I'm not religious at all. I'm kind of spiritual, but I'm very focused on just science and stuff like that. But I don't doubt that there could be a God. I think there could totally be a God, just like in the Bible, one that actually watches over everyone and directs things and everything. I don't believe in that possibility, but I'm not excluding that as a possibility. And it's just that, for example, things that we know through science, for example, we know how it rains and stuff through science. We know genetics and all that, and that's not proof against religion. It could just I think science and religion can coexist, and it's just that for example, we're discovering how the world works, and that could just be the way that God made it work. You know, for those people that like don't see a way for religion and science to coexist, it totally can. You know, a lot of scientists are religious too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you see the coexist symbol, it's got all those different things.
I just think I don't know anything, and I don't know what is on the other side or what is controlling whatever. But I mean, I'll find out when I get there.
It's that curiosity that humans have. We always want to know.
Yeah, I know everything. So, things like surprise me every day. Like aliens are actually existing. Like that is like, I always made fun of people wearing the tinfoil hats, and then apparently this guy named Chaim from Israel just started saying that they were, they've been existing in our society for years now. It's just like,
I just don't think there's a possibility that aliens can't exist. Like
I kind of thought that they always did exist, but then it's just like the stories that people tell. Oh, I got probed by an alien. Like,
all right, chill out.
Sure,
all right,
sure, Grandma, keep your tinfoil hat back.
That's actually funny because my grandma. This is like a really, really cool story, but like. This is like the coolest thing that's happened in my family. My grandma, no, she literally did.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently, my grandma, or maybe it was my great grandma. I think it was my great grandma. I think it was my mom's grandma.
Yeah.
But she was in the newspaper. I think they lived here in Milford. She was in the newspaper one day because she woke up in the morning and went to the station saying she had saw an alien, and that it had talked to her in a language she didn't understand but understood what it was saying. You know what I mean? And she said he was like 8 feet tall. He was like skinny and he had like reptilian skin or something like that. I don't remember the exact details, but in I think my grandma's house now, not my great grandma's, but my grandma's house now. Somewhere in the attic is a little bag that my great-grandma claims to have gotten from the alien, and inside it are gems unlike anything I've ever seen before. So I'm kind of like, whoa. Like, I look at those things, and they're kind of crazy. I'm like...
She could have seen a real alien.
And she could have whatever these rocks are. I don't know if they're, like, the Infinity Stones or what, but, like, they're pretty cool.
They could be the Infinity Stones. You could change the world.
And my mom used to tell me that story all the time, and I was like... Wow, that's so cool.
That is crazy.
That is insane.
And then she said she woke up. They
didn't probe her, so that's good.
That's what I'm saying. She went into the backyard, talked to the alien for a minute, and then she blinked, and the next thing she knew, she was in bed.
Wow.
And she woke up with a bag of rocks in her hand. I was like, wow.
You blink and everything is just
back to normal.
Back to normal.
This morning, you go out at like
so much
4 a.m. and it's all dark.
You're all naked. You're on like a
and then you just wake up. You got a bag of rock in your hands, and it's like 11:30.
You're naked. You're out in the desert. All you got is a bag of rocks. You're like, holy shit! I just saw an alien. Like, oh.
I either saw an alien or I like went to Vegas or something.
Yeah. Well, what did people give it?
There's so much crazy stuff out there that we don't understand.
Yeah.
I kind of like that we don't understand, though. As much as I want to understand, I kind of like it.
Yeah. Ignorance
it gives
is bliss.
me things to think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Instead of it being like super like traumatizing and horrible, which it probably is, like knowing humans and knowing life forms, like they're probably gonna be selfish. If they have that level of technology and they're able to visit other planets and they find ours, like.
I think people they take pride in the fact that they're like, man, I like know something that not a lot of people know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that there's a chance that we might be the aliens in the sense of like mathematically
we are the most
speaking,
developed that the universe has ever gotten.
Mathematically speaking, it is very likely that we are like the first. We are like one of the first planets to develop advanced life. Like there may have been planets that had like bacteria-like creatures.
Right.
But nothing advanced, or maybe like there was one or two that started advancing more, but some kind of catastrophe struck and whatever. But we've advanced like really fast, and it might be like maybe even like think about it. If we had 10,000 years to develop like space travel, that's more time than civilization has existed. 10,000 years is more time. And like I really doubt that human civilization is going to go anywhere anytime soon. So And the universe is pretty young too. The universe is pretty young too. The universe is
shout out, bro.
The universe is
new
14.
idea of electricity too. Crazy,
oh wait, what is he developing?
Tesla. He's doing with Tesla, just like the idea, like how Edison developed the light bulb, but apparently like there's debate whether it was like
him or Tesla.
Tesla. All of his works were like stolen, or he died before he could finish a lot of his works, I think. And Elon Musk is just taking all of his ideas and
bringing them to life,
bringing them back with modern technology.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's a great whole idea. With business, and it's like insane. Obviously,
it is insane. Teslas are cool, bro.
They are cool, dude. SpaceX, like that's
awesome.
Living on Mars is definitely going to be, like, Elon Musk is definitely going to be
the fact that our politicians are like, yo, we might need to have a space force, says enough about, like, how far we've come.
Yeah, people may make fun of it now, but
there may be a point where we actually need the space force.
Aliens do exist, so we might need that space force. And, I'm joining, so this is me coming out, I'm joining the space force.
Did you know that some mushroom spores can actually survive
in the vacuum
of space?
That's crazy.
So there's a theory. I don't know how high the chances are, but there's a theory that certain species of mushroom, or like fungi, came to Earth on an asteroid.
On an asteroid.
Yeah.
And that itself is life. So isn't that strange? How life can live in the
life finds a way.
Condition like that.
There's a will. There's a way. We could be descendants of mushrooms.
That would be nuts.
That would
be kind of awesome.
That would be kind of awesome.
Yeah. Our sperm is just fungus. They're spores. If you think about it like that.
I mean,
they're spores with tails that wiggle. It's crazy.
That is crazy, bro.
Yeah, life is crazy. Think about that though. Think about everything that goes on in like a person, for example. Like from inception, like the sperm swimming into the egg, fertilizing, conception, whatever. I forgot the word. Since conception. And like the child developing, growing, being born, all the processes that go on, all the mental like processes that go on, like
forming the consciousness.
Like, all of us, we resulted as like a result of evolution from something starting as like a little pocket of like oil, basically.
Yeah.
Like how oil bubbles up in water.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's how the lipid bilayer formed for cells. We were
one cell before we were this.
And even single-celled organism, like, actually, this is really cool. So the current theory, or one of the current theories on how animals developed eyes is that early on, jellyfish, the way that they eat is they just kind of like absorb things. I forget exactly
what it was. They sting it and then they bring it up into
was it jellyfish or was it
into the
Or I think this was like an ancient jellyfish, so I think it was that it was absorbing some algae or something. And what happened was that when it absorbed the algae, some of the DNA of the algae made it. It might have been the DNA of some of the algae, or it might have been like the entire algae cell itself.
Right.
That went into like one of the jellyfish's cells, and like that happened enough, and over time in evolution it created kind of like a symbiosis until it became one unified like cell structure. And the chloroplast, what's the word for the chemical in chloroplast that absorbs light?
I forget the name.
I think is it chromatin?
I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
That would be the only one I would be able to think of.
It's oh wait, no, it's chlorophyll.
Is it chlorophyll?
I don't think.
Is it?
That's photosynthesis. Yes.
Yeah.
Chlorophyll. Yeah.
So it's so the chlorophyll, it absorbs light, and I'm not exactly sure how this happened. Like if you search it up, like scientists would probably explain it better. But there was a transfer of DNA between the cells, and the cells began expressing those genes that created the chlorophyll, and eventually the cell became like sensitive to light. And that's how like the first like eyes formed. Basically, they were just cells that were sensitive to light, and eventually like animals that were sensitive to light could like see at first, and they could see barely anything, just kind of like things moving, for example. But they had a better chance of survival than ones who couldn't, and that's how eyes developed.
So eyes got better.
So we got eyes from algae.
So basically. We can detect a certain level of light.
And then things started evolving. Things got more refined and everything. And that's how we got. But we got eyesight from algae.
Yeah. That's wild. That is wild.
That is crazy.
So go back to the Mars discussion. I don't even know how people will live on Mars. Like, people say, oh, if humans live on Mars, they will adapt in this way, you know. I don't think we're ever going to adapt to that environment.
Yeah, I feel
that.
Well, we'd have
Mars
to terraform.
atmosphere.
We would have to terraform the hell out of Mars.
No, everything would be indoor building. You can't go outside in Mars without a spacesuit, and I don't think it's ever going to be like that.
Think about it. There are some places on our own planet that we can't figure out how to survive in. You know what I mean? So I don't think going to another planet just yet is the right idea. Like, until someone can, like, build a mansion on the top of Mount Everest and, like, live there consistently, I don't think we should go to Mars.
Yeah. Well, we can go there. It's just we can't.
We can't live there.
I don't know if we can live there. I mean, we're probably going to have to, because Earth is going to get destroyed at some point.
Yeah, we need to figure out our own shit.
Yeah, we really do. And the thing is, would you go to Mars or would you choose to stay on Earth? A lot of people would say, oh, yeah, I'll go. I feel like I'd rather stay on...
Well, I mean,
I feel like with the amount of people that are like, yo, we need to get off of Earth, Earth will heal. You know what I mean? I feel like so many people will go to Mars that Earth will actually become a better place.
If we can go to Mars...
If you own a hydro flask, you're going to Mars.
If we can go to Mars in time.
Yeah.
If we can go to Mars in time. The thing is, it's...
It'd be a cool thing to experience, but I feel like I'd get sick of it after a day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like
I'd be like, oh my god, I'm here.
It's like you spend...
I want to go back.
You spend, I don't know how many months or years or whatever the journey is, but it's like you spend that much time locked in a spaceship, and if you go outside without a helmet, you die.
Yeah.
With a bunch of people, you don't know how, you can't get more
And then when
resources.
you're on Mars,
and when you're on Mars,
it's the same thing. You can't go outside or you'll die.
It's just like desert.
Yeah. You live in a building basically your whole life. Like, that'd be insane.
That doesn't seem...
Raising kids on Mars would probably be one of the most insane things.
Oh, yeah.
They would... Well, kids would instantly adapt a little bit to the gravity. They would... They
would start the evolution of a new, subspecies of human.
Their hearts would be a little bit more efficient. Their lungs would be a little bit weaker. I think it's just like... I think they would grow to be a little bit bigger.
And because they would live longer because their hearts won't have to beat as much.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because there's less gravity. I'm not sure actually what changes.
They'd have bigger eyes, right? Isn't that one of the things? So they can absorb sunlight or more sunlight because it's brighter on Mars.
It wouldn't happen like with the the first generation would instantly be affected if you're born on Mars. Not so much genetically, but developmentally. Like you're going to grow up with lower gravity.
Would live your life is Mars. You've never been on Earth, so you can't compare it to any other experience.
But who knows actually if humans would adapt, because adaptation comes through
to live outside on Mars. I don't think it would happen in the amount of time since the beginning of humanity. We have adapted a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it would take a lot longer than just that.
But what I'm saying
to live
is like
in a different atmosphere. Like, we were created to perfectly for this atmosphere.
Exactly.
To an extent. Obviously, there's some you can't go in certain caves. You can't. There's places where.
What I'm saying though is that with our with the modern culture and everything and like ethics and stuff, you don't let just a person die anymore. You try to do what you can to save them.
Right.
And that's where I'm saying that the adaptation might be really slow, because adaptation through natural selection. You need to let it happen naturally.
Right.
I'm not even saying adapting to living with the atmosphere, because I don't think any mammal.
That would
I don't think
not
any vertebrate.
happen
I don't think any vertebrate
anytime soon. Yeah. For something to adapt to be able to live on there, something needs to be able to survive.
There needs to be an insane amount of technology where we just have this nano suit of skin that protects us from the outside, and then people can just walk outside without a spacesuit. All they got is a thin layer that protects them from everything. I think that level of technology would be when we can start adapting, because then people will be like, oh, I just won't use the people will adapt more to the environment, to the weather, to the temperatures, to the amount of sunlight. That's when people will start seeing changes.
We have a lot of we have a lot of technology though that those kinds of things seem like they could be coming closer to becoming a reality. There's this isn't so much for space stuff, but I just remembered about this. There's this thing called a hex suit, which it basically it stifles your own electrical output, your own electrical presence basically. So there's things happening in your body, especially your brain. There's always electrical impulses. Your body lets off a certain amount of electric radiation,
Right.
And we humans don't really pick up on it. But you know how sharks have electrosensors and everything.
Yeah.
Birds do. Birds can detect the magnetic poles. A lot of animals can sense those electrical changes. So that's why even if you feel like you're being completely still, you're not moving around, you're not making noise, animals still like
can
detect you.
Yeah.
So that hex suit actually does like stop the electrical pulse you give off, and animals like can't detect you as well. It's generally meant for like for when you're in the water, like I imagine that sharks gave the creators of this the inspiration to do it, like they were thinking. Why don't we do that? So, but it even works like there have been like stories of people like they have them on and foxes, coyotes will just like walk right in front of them, walk right up to them. Birds like won't notice it, like they won't notice you.
Yeah.
And that makes me think too, like so like humans don't have any electroreceptors, right? But I still think that we can probably like somewhat detect it, in the sense of like how like animals can sense fear. Animals can they like fear is adrenaline. They can smell the chemical changes in you. They can probably feel the electrical impulse that you give off because of those changes, and animals are a lot better, I think, at detecting these kinds of changes than humans. Number one, they're more adapted to it in general. But I think number two, sorry, I'm going to go off on a whole tangent
here.
Go
for it, dude. Go for it.
So this will all circle back, I promise.
Okay.
So humans actually are supposed to have photographic memory, but humans, modern humans, as they grow up, they lose their ability of photographic memory because language kind of replaces that need. Language replaces the psychological or the physiological need for photographic memory.
Like remembering objects.
Yeah.
You don't need to remember the picture.
Sounds.
You don't need to remember the picture of it.
Yeah. You can describe it. You can use the language.
Right.
So we use that with sights and sounds. And that's also why as you get older, smells bring back such strong memories. Because language mainly describes sights and sounds really well.
Not smell.
Not smell so much. There are words like obviously that smells bad, that smells good, that smells spicy, whatever. But like for example, we read language. It's a visual thing for us. We imagine, like when I say a word, you generally imagine like the image, and we are very visual creatures. And also we hear language, like we hear the words. We don't smell words, we don't taste words, we don't feel words, anything like that. And that's why I think those senses are stronger when it comes to memories. They trigger stronger memories because they're not tied into language. I forgot where that tangent was going with. Okay, I was talking about senses though, and I think because of language, a lot of people's senses other than sight and sound, they are like some of our strongest senses, but people kind of like ignore their other senses a lot.
Yeah.
But some people don't, and I think like for example, like empaths, people that can like read other people's emotions really well. It's not like they're like psychic or anything. It's not like they can read your mind, but they pick up on your like the little like the body language cues.
Yeah, the micro
facial expressions, stuff like that. Some people are just better attuned to that, and it could be like there could be an aspect of the electrical impulse that you give off. We don't know. I'm pretty sure that there hasn't been that much research that people have done into it. And another reason why I think that could be a possibility is because, do you know what synesthesia is?
Yes, yeah.
So I have synesthesia in a few different forms. Like, for example, like colors, letters, or not colors, letters, numbers, and words.
I didn't know this.
Oh.
I'm actually glad.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this in the bio of the...
Let's go. Blas is synesthesia.
Synesthesia. Blas, parentheses.
Letters, numbers, and words all have their own specific color. Like, for example, Ted, your name is like a dark olive green because...
Okay, I can kind of say that. Oh, Blas is a dark blue.
Actually, I'm a light blue. Aidan's red. But the thing is, if you ask me 40 years,
say Aidan was green.
If you ask me 40 years in the future, it's going to be the same answer.
Right.
It's like it's not like I'm like just saying this.
That.
It's like for example,
it's like an absolute. Like you will always be. Because your name is this, you will always be.
Because
if I tell you to
picture transgenders, what if they change gender or change their name?
Well, if they change their name, but like for example, for me, the name Aidan is always red. The name Ted is always olive green. Yeah, it has to do with the letters.
Does it make a difference if it's like a like my name is spelled Aiden or An.
Oh,
slightly. So I mean, this is different for
like
everyone.
if your name's Sean,
or Sean,
but SHAWN or SEAN.
Yeah.
So I like see like the colors for each of the letters. I see them. So it does make like a slight difference. Overall, usually the overall color of the word is like the first letter, but a G.
Yeah.
Like dark brown.
Wow. This is crazy. And have you met any other synesthetics?
Yeah, I definitely have in real life. I just can't remember any. But it's not.
Did you ever
super
compare like
what
do you see?
What's B for you?
Actually,
what's B for you?
Actually, I think most of my family is synesthetic.
And do they see the same colors?
No.
Oh, okay,
it's all different. It's all like.
It's all different. Yeah.
It's just like a psychological thing.
It's like a synapse thing.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's a connection. Your brain makes connections that
wires.
Technically shouldn't happen. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's what happens when your brain, parts of your brain converse in ways that they don't usually. Not that they're not supposed to, but they just don't.
And so it's not like
synesthetics they always amaze me.
Yeah.
Like when they like see sounds like that.
I do that too.
There are people that can like taste words.
They can,
that's crazy. That's crazy. It's like
don't say that word. Don't say that word around me.
That tastes bad.
But so I do the same thing. I see not sound so much, but music like
or smells. Like that's awesome.
That's crazy. Yeah. Music.
We've had him draw a song before.
You know,
the old played a song and he drew it.
Like I don't know, like on Windows the sound visualizer where it would just be like a bunch of colors like pulsing or like It's basically kind of like that. It's like a light show in my head.
Yeah, I watched
don't
this.
See it physically.
They
some
had like a
do.
TED talk with some synesthetic musician, and it was just like bright flashing lights going all over the screen, and it was like.
I think I might have seen that. It's not exactly like that for me. It's more.
Right.
It's a little bit the colors. It's more kind of like the shapes and the movements. Though actually, sometimes depending on the song, I like feel my body like physically like swaying, even if it's not. It's really weird. It's like with my balance or something. I don't know. But
that's cool.
So
that's dope shit, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm jealous. I'm feeling left out.
And so, like, I mean, those, though it's not like I'm literally like seeing the sound with my eyes or anything. It's like I'm still hearing it through my ears the same way as you. It's still the vibrations reaching my eardrums, but once it gets to the brain, it's like you said, the wires are crossed, and so instead of like just my sense of hearing. Lighting up, it's my sense of hearing and my sense of sight lighting up, and people think it's always the five senses, like sight, hearing, taste, smell, touch, but humans have a lot more theory, a lot more.
Isn't the sixth sense when you can, if you close your eyes, you can detect where your body parts are?
Proprioception. Proprioception is where your body is. There's what is it? It starts with a K.
I don't know.
Proprioception. I don't know. So there's one that basically has to do with the balance of like your head and like your alignment.
Isn't there like water in your ears and you can
there's some kind of
detect the water inside there, and it shows like where your your level.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of senses like that.
People use that to get out of like avalanches and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like people are like buried in the snow and they use the sense of like the tilt of their head to figure out like where they are.
Yeah. And in space, it's like that's how it messes with people.
Yeah,
because there's no gravity.
There's no gravity for it to tilt.
So you feel like queasy, or you feel like
always standing exactly straight up. I would imagine probably.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Even if you're upside down, imagine feeling that. Imagine being upside down, but you feel straight up.
Yeah.
Actually,
there's
I think
no gravity, no atmosphere, so that's insane.
I think once you start moving, it would feel like you're always falling. Because
the liquid,
because
your
the liquid
stomach just drops.
I mean, like we'll use
because the water is just wherever your motion is.
So if you're standing still and you move forward, the liquid is going to go back, so it's going to feel like you're falling face down.
Oh my god, bro!
Yeah,
the liquid will be in the back of your head, so it will feel like you're skydiving if you move your head forward. That's crazy.
Imagine how much G-force you can put on your body just by like rocking your head.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
That's insane.
But
that's cool though.
So
well, I'm pretty sure they use that in the International Space Station. There's that big wheel, right? Or is that just in movies?
They also have planes that fly up and they go up really high, and then they come down for 11 minutes.
Oh,
and while it's coming down, there's no gravity.
So you feel like you're in space. Yeah, they do that.
And then they
train
flatten out
with that, but
and then they come back up again. Yeah. You're supposed to like jump off of the ground as soon as you're coming around like the top of the arc.
Right.
And then you'll fall with the plane.
That's awesome.
So there's no gravity inside the plane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's all these.
That's super cool.
It's all those senses that like they get tied together and they make the human experience. And if you have synesthesia, they can cross wires. And now, finally coming full circle, you know how there are people that say they can see auras around people, like depending on their mood or whatever.
Right,
I think that's a form of synesthesia. I think they have.
That's like an otherly sense.
They
mixed with
associate
whatever
people with like
it's like emotion. It's like an emotion.
Yeah, it's like an emotional response. Yeah, and it's
maybe
like for
it's
whatever
seeing
reason.
the energy that you give off.
Well,
literally.
see that's what I'm getting to basically.
It's like sight. It's like a cross between sight and other sight.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
sight,
you.
Other
It's
sight,
like you see
little...
these micro. What did we call them earlier?
Mannerisms.
Those are
micro
mannerisms.
Expressions.
And it could
and
also
then you also see the person.
It could also be the energy that you sense.
And then
giving
you see
them
the
off.
color.
Not like
it's like a triple twist.
The energy that they're
together.
giving off too. Like think about that. Like going full circle, the electrical impulse you give off.
Yeah.
There's no proof that we detect that, but I think there's like a chance that some of us could, like to a very very minute degree.
Right.
And that could tie into that too. That could be the aura that you're seeing around people, and it's
Right.
and it's like a lot of the time these people aren't off either. Like it's not like like for example if they see like I really don't know how these auras work for people because I imagine it's different. Synesthesia is different for everyone, but like let's just say like for whatever reason they think that you're angry because of your aura or whatever, and a lot of the time they're right.
That's crazy. Yeah, they can detect my mood even
cool,
though
bro.
I wouldn't even recognize that I would be like depressed or mad or
That's why talking to
or
people,
something, or bored.
talking to people can help
imagine-
you so much sometimes.
Yeah, imagine looking at someone and being like, "Oh, you're not really having a fun time with this conversation."
Yeah,
right
like
now.
you're
brown,
off,
you're
like
brown.
you're off right now. You're giving
I
off
should
like
say
a
that,
dark
I should
green
say
aura, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
I think I can detect that kind of thing. Not like I don't detect auras. I don't
with the
have...
names.
No, not with. Yeah, with the names, bro.
So I'll always be one color. In a way, you don't see my color, but you see in your head my name, like the text.
And it associates it with the
because
color.
with E,
T is black, E is green, D is yellow.
Yeah. Oh, so hold on.
I told him he should make a language
Black-
out of this.
I'm black, green, and yellow.
Yeah, but like the overall word looks like an olive green to me. It's
So
weird.
that it's
That-
different.
so that
Letters
it
have their own
blends kinda.
separate
Yeah.
colors,
Yeah.
but words, because it's a combination.
Like
of letters
Aidan's name
also.
is red because he has two A's. A is red, I is white, which is just kind of neutral.
Yeah.
D is yellow, which is like a not a strong color, and N is orange. They're all like reddish colors.
Yeah.
Mine, I don't know.
I told
I've
him to
always
make a
seen.
language out of this.
I've
bro.
always seen
He's
my name as
literally
like
could.
Yeah.
I
So
told him
you got a red.
B is blue,
B is
L is
blue.
purple, A is red, S is yellow. I still see mine as blue.
So
I don't
it's
know
just
why.
kind of. It's like a mix. Yeah, it
It's-
would be ultimately kind of like a purple because we got the reds and the blues.
But
and then you
the
got purple.
first letter is usually the strongest too.
Okay, because it's capital.
So and
right.
yeah.
Oh, so do you see capital letters different?
Yeah,
from
is
lowercase?
a capital A like a
Capital
different
A,
red than a
lowercase.
lowercase?
I've
A?
never
It's more bolder.
thought about it. I think they're still almost the same color, but I do think capital letters are a little more vibrant.
Yeah, yeah. So when you see, does it take up the letter? So it's like the font or whatever. The text
Yeah, it's
color
like
would
red.
be.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. So what about like bubble letters or something?
Bubble letters.
Are they
You'll
different,
see
different
the
styles
outline, or
of
they all
writing?
filled in. Is
No,
it filled
they're
in?
all usually the same font. I don't think I could like pin it down to one font because it's
different
like
fonts or different.
no, they're all like one font.
Okay, I think it's like
I
the
think.
you detect. Oh, it's an A, and then you think in your head, oh, A is red.
Yeah,
And so you
it's
see
always
that as red.
it's always
That's
like
another
when
interesting question.
That is
when the
crazy.
What font do
The-
you think in?
what font do you-
I think, yeah. Comic Sans.
Let's go.
Milford. The guy from Milford invented Comic Sans.
I mean,
You went to Milford?
Yeah, he was in Milford.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And the first kidney transplant.
wow,
Really?
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
What an eventful life.
Not the same guy.
Oh, not the
but-
same guy.
Yeah, if only.
I think I think in
I think in Playfair Display.
Times New Roman because of school, bro.
Times New Roman, yeah.
Imagine meeting
Calibri.
someone that-
I think in Calibri a little bit.
So meeting
Wingdings.
meeting someone that thinks in calligraphy, bro.
Calligraphy or wingdings. Oh my gosh.
I don't know my fonts that well, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't
know
know.
that
I know
too.
Comic
like
Sans,
four.
Times New Roman.
I know for Comic
about
Sans, Times New Roman, Playfair Display.
Go off.
Wingdings.
There's something that's like
Calibri.
Gothic or something.
Gothic. I think that is just one.
Yeah,
I think that
Gothic.
just is a font.
I think that's pretty much all I know. Gothic. There's like the what are they called? There's all like the different like sans and there's another word for other fonts, but it's just like the styles.
Yeah.
There's the cursive one. I don't know.
But I told him if
Georgia,
you ever
that's one, I think.
If you ever want to like hide a buried treasure or something, like write the location to it in your synesthesia language and have someone figure it out.
Yes. I feel like people could decipher it.
They could at some point, but it'd be
the military.
It'd be crazy.
Your power.
Yeah, right. Blas
the one
is a human
difficult thing is
incredible.
sometimes it's like it's difficult though because for example the M and E are like almost the exact same shade of green. So like if it was just green, it'd be difficult to tell between M or E.
But what if you do that like
what if you did it like with
so
like
everything's
a slash
like a circle
or something like that?
Well,
like
yeah,
that
like
green
like
with a slash through it is an M, but like just the
I
green
could
is
definitely
an
make a code through it out of it. Yeah.
Or like a square green is an M and a circle green is a
is an E.
an
Yeah.
E. Yeah.
Actually, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
That'd be a cool language, bro. We out here.
You could write that and you know exactly what it says, and
you just
no
look
one
at
would
it,
have a
yeah,
clue.
right.
You'd pick it up instantly.
I think it would
pick
be
it up
difficult
instantly.
because you'd think that, but it doesn't
So if
really
you
work
see,
in reverse.
if you see like, could you do the opposite? Like if you look at this, or sorry, table.
Exposed yourself.
I'll bleep it out. It's fine.
You should make
you
a
see the
blooper
table. You see the stand.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, like
No,
expand.
I don't.
I think we already.
It only goes that one way because
So you can't see the color. I mean the
Like
letter.
if you
No.
Okay.
no,
So if you
because
saw the
it only
color-
goes one way. It's
But
like
could you be like, oh, this blue is closest to.
yeah, I can think of it actively. It's like once I think of like
something.
it's just like because
So then
because
you can you could form words.
I could
From colors.
I
Isn't
could.
that crazy?
It would take a little bit to figure out.
It would
but-
be like
Yeah.
an active process though. Synesthesia is just it's like subconscious. So it's like I don't even think about it. I didn't realize for the longest time I had it
Yeah.
because it was so natural to me. It's like if you saw let's just say like most people didn't see the color yellow and you saw the color yellow all the time.
It'd be like, oh, that's an E.
It would
Or
take
a
you. I
D.
think it would take you a really long time for you to figure out that you're seeing yellow when other people aren't.
Mm.
And it's like the same thing, It's like I always saw D as yellow. I always saw O as purple. And it's like when I was writing the letter O, I always saw it as purple in my head. But I always thought of it
I
so
thought O was
normal.
purple. So
They're
L
both
and,
purple.
and O.
Yeah.
Are purple? Okay,
Well,
right,
O
right.
is like
E and O.
more of like an indigo.
Like an indigo.
Indigo,
and then,
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. You should make a chart. We'll sell it as
I
merch.
should.
Yeah, right. Put that on a T-shirt.
Put it on a
Ted
shirt.
Culture merch, bro.
Yeah,
Ted
it'll say
Culture
Ted
merch.
Culture, but in colors.
Yo.
Dude, Blas, I'm coming to you anytime I need a design. You can just give me a color for each letter, and I'll color them that way. Oh
so
my
it would be
god!
consistent.
It's just a straight line, but it's just the colors.
It's just the
It's
color.
your code, though.
Okay, yeah.
Or it could be the
Synesthetic
the
collection
text
from
color.
Ted Culture, bro.
That would be dope.
Donate.
Yeah, donate so you can have that merch. People have been asking about merch.
I would
Merch
love
would
to
be
see
very-
Ted Culture
very
merch, bro.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the next step.
Synesthetic, like that's a part of the design, dude. I'll hit you up anytime I need that.
Word.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
that is great. That is great.
I've always wanted to do art with it too. Like
I would love to
You
do
should.
art too.
I want to
You
learn
should
how
do
to
like a.
paint. That's why I'm so
Just
interested in
think,
making
I'm
music
gonna
too.
color this word, and you use those colors from that word, and whichever colors, like say you said the first letter of each word stands out the most, so that could be the main thing, and you could do something like clever, like the word will be like bear, and you draw a bear with the colors from bear,
Oh yeah, that'd
Is
be
that
cool.
another
That
part
would
of the
be
merch?
cool.
That's in the merch too. Yeah,
That would be
amazing.
that would be
So
insane.
cool.
That'd
You
be
can
awesome.
like set up like an application or something like that. You can like customize the shirts
Yeah.
and shit like that.
That
You
would
can
be
like
so
write your
good.
name and blast the synesthesia code.
Yo, dude, someone code this and let me get on that.
For real.
Like,
Yeah.
that is insane. That is awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Start that.
Big
start
ideas out here. That's what
Yeah.
we're all about.
Synesthesia merch. I would love to have that because people get necklaces with their own name on it,
Mhm.
but having just like getting a
colors.
tattoo, just like you gotta.
That
That'll
would-
be my first tattoo. It'll
that
be
would
my
be a
name,
dope
but it's
idea,
just
I
a
think.
straight. It's like a bar, and it's
Literally just a bar,
divided,
yeah.
but it's just my name in your colors.
All right,
It'd be
right
insane.
here. I'm gonna get
Oh, but
blue.
mine are kind of weak. Green and yellow.
black, green,
Black,
yellow.
green, and yellow.
Well.
It could be a bear. Black, green, and yellow though.
That's what I'm saying.
Bear is blue, green, red.
No, but a
pink.
bear, like to be
A
my
bear,
name
okay,
or
yeah.
something, like Teddy.
I might just get like a bar. I might just get like a bar of 4 squares, just blue, red, or no, blue, purple, red, yellow.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thank you. Yeah, that's fantastic. So yeah, if you guys want to, you know,
you guys want merch?
If you're interested, this is probably the biggest and best thing I can offer. Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
That's for you to decide, but it's pretty cool.
Every shirt would be unique at that point, unless it's like a thing. So if it would be bear, and then it would be the colors of the word bear, like that would be dope. But then your name, like just like a fresh shirt, you know, just maybe like a white shirt or a black shirt. And then have like, well, black could be a part of it, so it'd have to be, I don't know, it depends on what colors you get.
Mm-hmm.
Or just the entire shirt, like a tie-dye shirt maybe.
That'd go hard.
That would go
hard. Just your colors.
Hard.
Like, that is insane. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. We'll get on that. I'm going to write
one
that
day,
down.
bro. One day.
One day. Yeah, humble beginnings.
Mark the date.
Mark the time.
It was set today.
Yeah. I'm posting this as a clip.
Let's go.
Just so I remember this. Yeah. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to cut this out so no one else can see
Oh, yeah.
No, I'll leave it in. It should. Someone should get it used to. If you do make it, let me know because I want to buy one. Honestly, yeah. Get it. Let it happen. Make it happen.
Business idea.
That's great.
I got stuff in the works. Stuff's gonna be coming out. I'm gonna be doing stuff with Blas, doing more stuff with Logan. I would love to make another appearance on the podcast after I drop another project or something.
Anytime. Well, actually, I have a
until summer, but I mean, I told Logan, I was like, hey, we got so much time to work on music to then maybe talk to Ted about in the summer. Yes. And he was like, yo, I'm so down.
Dude, that is awesome. All right. That is awesome. Yeah, go through the experience with each song. Yeah.
The premise for this project that this song is going to be off of actually started a while ago, back in like sophomore year of high school, and Cedric is on it.
Nice.
Another song featuring CD Classic. I'll show you a little bit of his part, a little bit of my part. It's a song called BAP. The whole project is going to be called BAP Volume 1. I don't know when it's going to come out yet. I don't know how many songs it's going to be. It all depends on how driven I am within the next couple of months. But I'm going to be dropping some singles other than that too, and it's all going to be boom bap inspired. This one is on a reproduction of the beat of Infinity 888 by XXX with Joey Badass. So I'll show you a little bit of Cedric's part, a little bit of my part. I gave you a little preview of this song.
Alright.
I might just be high right now, but I feel like I'm ascending, you know what I'm saying? Goddamn.
I'm on a different level of thinking right now. Spit knowledge on these hoes. Oh God. I'm on my lyrical Dylan type shit. Yeah.
You know I'm standing among the holies above. I'm not devastating.
Very different Cedric too. This is a banger verse
Fresh,
from
I like
Cedric.
it. I like it. Less auto-tune, more
Kung Fu hitting the whole block up. I'm the ill walker for the sick flock. Been coping like Tonka.
Alright, pause that there. I'll show you a bit of my part.
Alright.
Right hook straight. Much as I like to play corn, just basic life expensive, yeah. Killing all these rappers, I'm as dope as it gets. I'm old school, I'm educating them with a balled up fist. If you are talking shit, you at the top of my list. Teach you a lesson when I'm rapping, then it's class dismissed. I'm like Mike Tyson fighting you with the lightning, writing punchlines hitting right hook straight. There isn't any.
Oh my gosh.
That's all I got to say, bro.
I'm hyped.
Rhyme scheme impeccable.
I love that style. Yeah, I love
the style, bro. And I would love to do more styles. I mean, I do polls on my story all the time. Should I do something more jazzy, more trappy? Should I be introspective, outrospective? Should I be in the club? Or should I be in my feels? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, look forward to that. You can find me at Freeze on SoundCloud. Also check out Every Other White Boy. That's Logan on SoundCloud.
I'll tag you both. Yeah.
Check out Cedric. I know Cedric had his own episode, but Cedric's a great artist.
Yeah, great episode too.
Great
check out that episode.
Cedric.
It's short, sweet, and has the 4 times the views. That's my other one. So you guys, I mean, I guess it's fantastic. So go check it out. I really like that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, lovely to have you both on.
Bro.
Like that was definitely one of my favorite. I say this every episode, but it's just like
it just keeps getting better, baby. And that's the
I don't
goal.
know if it's me getting better after every time, or just like these guests just hit it out of the park. I really enjoyed today's episode, and I'm glad you guys are on, and I hope you guys will be back on. If you make another song, I'd be happy to showcase it. I'd be happy to have you back on, talk about it.
It's always a pleasure. Pleasure working.
Yeah, Blas, I'd love to have you on and talk more about conspiracies.
Conspiracy. I'll talk about anything.
Literally anything.
You wind them up and let them go. Bro.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. So we end this with a clap. So on the count of 3, so it'll be 1, 2, 3 clap. So ready, 1, 2, 3.
Much as I like to play cool and just basic life expensive, yeah. Killing all these rappers, I'm as dope as it gets. I'm old school, I'm educating them with a balled up fist. If you are talking shit, you at the top of my list. Teach you a lesson when I'm rapping, then it's class dismissed. I'm like Mike Tyson fighting you with the lightning, writing punchlines, hitting right hook strike. There isn't